They're wherever you're willing to draw a line. Say, you cannot come across this line or I'll kill you. That's where your rights are. And if you don't understand that, folks, then it's beyond my capability to explain it to you. They will get away with whatever you let them get away with. And until you draw the line and die for what you believe in, they will keep taking and taking and taking and taking until there is no more to take.
We the people are absolutely willing to stop the decimation of our country. The collapse is here. The elite are getting ready to head for their bunkers. It's time to arrest the ones who have overthrown our government and restore what has made us the greatest country on earth. It's time to use the Second Amendment for which it was intended. Tyranny hunting and communist overthrow. Live from the Overthrow Bunker in Field Region 5 in Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm your host, Pete Santilli, and you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
The Pete Santilli Show. The commentary and incitement you're about to hear is based on opinion, truth, and fact, and is meant to be an educational tool to fight the New World Order, the global elite, and the eugenics agenda. The Pete Santilli Show will never be censored by any corporation, and Mr. Santilli is certainly not beholden to the opinion of any of his sponsors. The opinions of his guests may not necessarily reflect the opinion of Mr. Santilli. Further, Mr. Santilli would like to urge his listeners to remain calm throughout the collapse, obey the Constitution, act lawfully, responsibly, and at their own risk of being brutalized by tyranny when taking any action after listening to the Pete Santilli Show. Also be advised, this program may contain adult content and parental discretion is strongly advised. It's time to throw away your chips and your Diet Cokes, so cling to your Bibles, grab your guns and your bug-out bags, and get ready for the Pete Santilli Show. Pete Santilli telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Ooga booga.
Oh, wow.
Ooga booga.
You sound like a caveman.
Yes, I am a caveman.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're just dropping in for the first time ever, this is the least serious 20 minutes in all of independent media.
Yes.
It's intentionally that way.
It is.
Because
we do it on purpose.
Yeah, we do it on purpose because we're just running, gunning since the last show every single day. So guess what? Right in front. These are the only breaks we take because we don't want to be. We don't want to be working off the clock.
We don't.
No. So this is we clock in with the show and we go on our break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
You know what, you guys? We were listening to some old broadcasts today, and I cannot believe how much we've changed. I mean, the whole show.
Very innocent.
You know what? I mean, it's like it's so different. It's really weird looking and listening back.
Yeah, and I remember
what we used to do. It's wild.
Well, knowing what I know, like Deborah Jordan.
Yeah.
By the way, our listening audience loves things about Deborah Jordan.
They do.
Especially when you sit there and you think about all the things you hate about Pete Santilli. It's easily offset by the things that you love about Deborah Jordan.
See?
Right? So
yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm listening to some previous episodes. We're doing some editing stuff, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, knowing what I know. About you. Let's hit that button, by the way.
Yeah.
We can. Let's do it right now.
Do it right now.
Yes.
Hang
let's
on.
do that. Okay. So knowing what I know about, like, for instance, telling you what to do technically.
He's my boss.
Right? No, I'm not.
He bosses me around.
I just can't function with the in the background.
I know.
Okay. So anyways.
The dehumidifier came on.
So
we live in Ohio.
I'm listening to me barking out orders on the back channel, like giving you like technical directions to do stuff. And that's just so not you.
I know. It's like, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
you were
kind of
yelling at me and screaming at me.
I said ooga booga because this is the analogy that I want to use. All right. Men are hunter-gatherers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And women clean the cave.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
No.
No, hunters and women are gatherers.
Yeah.
Not hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
Women are hunters.
Listen to him trying to backtrack.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And now let's go to Danny.
You're going to get a boo hiss from her, too.
Hey.
Yo,
what's up?
what's cracking like it?
Man, we got to get the telephone lines up and running. And I also give this disclaimer at the beginning of the show, like, this is going to be 20 minutes of nothingness.
Yes.
But this is what I promise you.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely promise every single day when we start out light and loose and happy-go-lucky,
Yes.
that before the end of the episode, you will want to do one of two things.
You will.
You will either have a migraine or you will have physical injuries because you took a fork and shoved it into your forehead. Okay?
Right. You will either totally hate us or you will totally love.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One or
you'll
the other.
hate us for giving you a migraine.
Right.
Guaranteed. This show is we're gonna cover some important stuff. Dr. William Mount's gonna be on.
He is.
Later.
Yes.
He's gonna be on later.
Yes, he is.
Is he coming on in the third hour?
I believe so. I'll have to look.
Hopefully in the third hour. We'll check that. The telephone lines, Danny, are
The telephone lines are 1662. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
3140 code 407-265. I should have that memorized.
407-265, and I'll put it up on the screen for our YouTube subscribers. YouTube, we want to welcome all of our listeners on iTunes, on Shoutcast,
Yes.
Audio Realm, Spreaker. We're still the number one. Every time we hit that button and stream out, we're number one on Spreaker.
Millions of listeners.
Millions. Okay, it's awesome. We love that. We're not like bragging. I'm just saying we're reaching a lot of people, and we don't want to ignore you. But we love being on Frig. I love what YouTube is doing, and the e-militia. Okay, drops into the chat room. They know how powerful it is. This is what happened this month. Okay, because of what our e-militia members did in the chat room, sending our stuff out, recommending our channel and our episodes.
Yes.
By the way, this episode would be the one to send out.
Yes.
But by doing that, you literally got us 1.5 million more than we would normally receive.
Yes.
Clicks on YouTube, 1.5 million, which is monstrous. You guys can go check the numbers. We're approaching 10 million views. And this is just within the short period of time that we've really been delving into the whole YouTube thing. So we love it. We reach a lot of people with the truth. Everyone that lands on the thing, you might land on the show, and then all of a sudden I'm like bashing the Pope. Those people get pissed off. I'm bashing somebody with a yarmulke. Those people get pissed off. I'm bashing the atheists. Those people get pissed off.
Yeah.
You're pretty much guaranteed, no matter who you are, you're going to be pissed off at some point. So depending on when you drop in, just we haven't pissed you off yet. I will. Deborah Jordan won't. I will. Right?
Yeah.
But we love you.
We do.
So make sure that we do good, solid work to piss off as many people as possible by sharing the show.
I want to say hello to Dorian. He
Dorian.
said hello to us.
I think Dorian needs to put out a tutorial on how to be an e-militia member.
Yeah.
Because she sends us so many awesome links. She's almost up there with Kenny from Michigan. Kenny from Michigan cannot be beat because at 4 o'clock in the morning, Kenny's sending links. I don't think Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian will sleep a little bit. But Kenny from Michigan and Dorian, they should team up to do like a tutorial on how to be e-militia members and just send so many interesting links. Thank you, Dorian, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks for leading the charge in that regard. Okay?
Yeah.
Who else are you going to say hi to?
Oh, there's all kinds of people.
What about me? How about if
I want
you
to say
say
hello to Exist Extinct in the chat room. Hi.
Oh, Electric Stink? Did you say Electric Stink?
No.
Electric
Exist Extinct.
Oh, Ext. I thought you said Electric Stink. Electric. Say hello to Electric Stink. Yes.
So wake the sheeple. We want to say a special hello to our first troll of the evening, Vic Capella.
Yeah. The sign of a man
nice.
is how many viewers? Yeah. And also a great sign of a man is being able to actually put your name and your face to your stuff and not hide as a troll on the internet. You know what I mean? Seriously, we talked about that. Although I respect the privacy of a lot of people because so many of them work for the government, there's like hundreds of thousands of them, so they can't really use their freaking real name. So I understand that you have to protect yourself and you can't, because your boss is actually trying to install tyranny. I understand that. But a lot of these people, I told you yesterday, I had somebody who was named like blah, blah, blah. And had a cartoon picture of themselves, and they're criticizing how I look. I'm like, oh, okay. Why? Huh?
We find it interesting.
Let's Let's see what you look like. So if you're like an anonymous troll, if you're an anonymous troll, okay, you can't criticize me about how I look because you look like a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
At least I look like a cartoon in real life, right?
Yeah. Well, what's really special is about all of that is that we have ways of finding out who these people are.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's up, Luigi? You know what, you guys, join us in, and now we're always going to do our best to interact with our listening audience. I'll glance down every once in a while, but once I get, in the show, obviously, I need to focus on the show.
Yeah.
And obviously, I have to stare at Deborah Jordan.
Yeah.
Right?
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Give me a look.
Except for Danny. I have to actually go around the wall to look at Danny.
There is no Danny back here.
Danny McPherson is in the back, and we have telephone callers on the line that we'll get to. You know what? Can I take a call now? Because at the 20-minute mark, we're going to come out of the gates.
Sure.
And you guys, I want you to know this right now. The next segment, okay, is going to be extremely hard-hitting.
Yeah.
It is going to be one of the biggest bombshells, okay, that exists since Hillary Clinton has announced her candidacy. It is, no doubt about it. It's the biggest bombshell since Hillary Clinton announced her candidacy. And you'll know more about that at the 20-minute mark. So if you need to go potty or get some water, you need to do that, because at the 20-minute mark after that break, we're going to come out of the gates with some pretty hard-hitting stuff. Let me go to the telephone lines right now. We got Dorian on the line. Dorian's on the line. Dorian, why don't you do a tutorial on how to be an e-militia member?
Okay, I will.
Yeah, you should do that. So,
there you go.
Have you learned how to do just like audio, and you can just do like a little pictorial? You know what I want you to do? Okay. Do this. I'll give you my telephone number. I'll give you some. We want to keep it really, really easy. Okay.
Yep.
I have an easy way for you to do it, but send me your telephone number. I'll call you. I'll give you a tutorial. We love what you do.
Okay.
Yeah, we love what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want you to share it with
every day.
Yeah, I want you to share it with other people, because what you're doing is exactly, what everyone needs to do, right?
Yep.
Yep. Keep your eye on the road. Absolutely.
Oh, you do.
Lots of crazy stuff going on out there.
I told my teacher about your show.
You did?
Yeah, I'm gonna show him the intro one day because I'm working like all day. And I'm gonna show you before we do anything else on open house.
What subject?
I'm gonna show him your intro first before I tell him about what subject about Common Core.
No. What subject does your teacher teach?
He's art teacher.
Art teacher.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Good. Is he liberal?
Yeah. I don't know yet. I gotta ask him.
Yeah, you should just find out. Say, just out of curiosity, what's your version?
Yeah, and,
so then you'll know what you're up against.
See, there's this guy named Pete Santilli. He calls people like you libtards. Yeah, don't be offended by that. No,
don't do that,
Dorian.
I know.
When you're introducing him to the show, yeah. Dorian, thank you very much. So, why did you call in? What's your comment?
Well, I've been telling people about the same thing, but they give me the same response.
What do they say?
About he should listen and do what he's told. It's like we all have a constitutional right not to.
We do. You actually have a Fifth Amendment right not to say anything at all, and it's not illegal to be belligerent.
Yeah.
You could tell the. Now, obviously, we don't recommend that when you get pulled over by a police officer to be belligerent. You obviously need to go step if they're pressing you and they want to give you a ticket. Just say, you know what, officer, give me my ticket so I can be on my way. Am I free to go? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. You can't go from, we saw two instances, Dorian. Remember, Sandra Bland went from blinker to get out of the car because she wouldn't put out her cigarette. And then this other guy was, you don't have a license? Oh, okay, then remove your seatbelt right before I shoot you. Mm-hmm. That's two separate incidents. So I'm going to say at this point, you know how they will walk up to those open carry guys and they'll say, well, what's going on? Why are you carrying a gun? And we should be asking them, why are you carrying a gun? My life is in danger. Anytime I see cops running around with guns, people, for not turning on their blinker, my life is in danger. You better get away from me with that gun. Right?
Yep. I see. Why are these cops killing people? And they don't see the part of it.
They don't what?
See the human side of us, like all human.
No, they need to do that. You heard from Police Chief Shane Harger, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What did he said? He said the moral fiber, okay, and integrity of our law enforcement is gone. I mean, morality and humanity has been, stripped from. These guys are going through a lot. I understand they're in a lot of really bad circumstances, but if they didn't want to be, they shouldn't have become cops. Maybe they should go, do Taco Bell drive-through. It's a less stressful scenario, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But thank you very much for calling in, Dorian.
Yep. Love you guys.
Hey, love you too.
Oh,
all right. Yes, we do, Dorian. All right, let's go to Steve.
Yeah.
Steve. What's up, Steve? Is Steve on the line?
Yeah, how are you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. This is Steve from Idaho.
What's up, Steve from
and
Idaho?
I'm coming out today. Don't let that scare you too much, Pete.
We're speechless.
I'm the Capstone 100.
Oh, how nice.
Okay, I use my YouTube account. That's why my name's not up there. So I just had a couple things that I found out this week that's kind of interesting.
What's that?
Cecile Richards, who is the president of Planned Parenthood, worked as the deputy chief of staff for Nancy Pelosi in the early 2000s.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it goes.
Can you do me a favor, Steve? Send me your links or information to bunker@thepetesantillishow.com. Will you?
Okay.
Yeah, share that.
It's on the it's on the internet. That's where I found it.
Okay.
And so that's why Nancy Pelosi is so pro-life. I mean, pro-choice. And I know you are too, Debbie, but that's okay. Everybody believes.
Well, let me straighten that out, okay? God created us to have a will of our own, a choice to whether to follow him or not follow him,
That's true.
So, first of all, I don't think it's the government's place to regulate the life and death of babies. I don't think that's right. I do not believe in Planned Parenthood. I do not believe in abortion. However, and it's not something that I would advise anyone. If somebody came to me and said, should I do this? I would give them an adamant no. It's a bad deal. And I would try to counsel them the best I could, and I would try to talk them out of it. But when it comes right down to it, it is their choice. It is their choice. And I don't think that the government has a right to regulate that. I don't believe that Christians have a right to regulate that or anybody else. They will be the ones that will be responsible for what they do.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why Nancy Pelosi is so pro-choice. Then there's another bombshell.
Quickly, we got to go to a break. Yeah, we have. Steve, we have to go to a break. If you want to call in a little bit, welcome to do that. We have to go to a break, and then when we come back, because we've got so much information to cover.
Okay.
We are. Yeah, if you could, let's do that. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to start covering something. Now, I'll give a nice segue introduction into this thing by sharing with you a story that came to us by the e-militia. Okay? Mm-hmm. This is how this thing came to us. This next segment is brought to you by the e-militia that gave us the heads up because they're also listeners of the HAGMANN and HAGMANN show as well. So we'll tell you about that right after this. It's important, though. Don't go away.
That means something. Don't any of you disgrace it. Now listen, men, and listen good. There's liable to be trouble out there today. to nip it. Nip it in the bud. You get it? But yeah.
Debbie Jordan, we're halfway through 2015. Back in January, I got you your first TKO vapor kit. How do you like it so far?
I love it, and I'm still not smoking, and I haven't had a cigarette since my birthday on January the 27th.
What do you love most about vaping?
You know what, Pete? I love it because it's clean, I feel healthier, and I can smoke anywhere that I want to, and I don't have to go outside.
And vaping tastes great, doesn't it? All the flavors by TKO are absolutely phenomenal. From fruity to just about every flavor that you could possibly imagine.
The flavor is fantastic.
If you go to gmnvape.com, you can order a starter kit. You can get your flavors of some of the best vape fuel that you'll ever find on the planet. Go to gmnvape.com. You can enter a coupon code GMN for a 10% discount. Of course, and it'll ship directly to your door. Go to gmnvape.com.
The Pete Santilli Show has been growing strong since 2011. Almost 4 years of bringing you the kind of information you will never find on AM/FM radio. Pete Santilli and his crew have brought stories like Clive Bundy to the national spotlight, the border crisis in McAllen, Texas, and has bravely confronted corrupt legislators who would imprison pastors like Reverend Edward Pinckney and Ken Hovind. Recently, the Pete Santilli Show traveled to Baltimore, where he stood side by side with the people against the tyrannical police state, just like he did at Bundy Ranch. For 4 years, the show has been a voice for the oppressed and targeted in this country, and now we have our sights set on getting long overdue justice for the survivors of the USS Liberty. Donations to the Pete Santilli Show not only guarantee we remain on the air without being censored, but it also gives us the power to go when and where we are called. There is so much left to do. Go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate because giving feels great.
All right, now before we get started here, all right, I will say this: I'm pretty opinionated, okay, and I may pop off, and I'm going to be very, very genuine and sincere. But I want to open up this segment by letting you know that somebody who, over the years, I've grown to like and respect and appreciate their work. I'm going to be mentioning some stuff about their show, and this is not directed. None of my fire and energy is directed at Mr. Hagmann from the Hagmann and Hagmann Show. Okay, Doug Hagmann, I've always respected. I've had him on the show. He actually, when we told him about 9/11 evidence, Dr. Judy Wood, he had Dr. Judy Wood on. Very, very gracious. I've listened to him over the years, dating all the way back to the Art Bell days when he was on Coast to Coast, way back when. But at the same time,
I've always spoken very highly.
No, I've always spoken very, very highly of them. I like them. I like the, they're good people. They do good work. And that's not to say that we don't all make mistakes. But it's not going to be at the expense of our country. And that's why this is important. This is not Pete Santilli protecting Pete Santilli. Pete Santilli has gone after vigorously in ways that I'm sure Doug Hagmann wouldn't even approve of after Hillary Clinton. But I've done so in my own way. Okay. And Huffington Post didn't like the way I went after her. That's okay. I stand by what I said about Hillary Clinton. She needs to be arrested, tried, and convicted for treason against the United States of America. Not only that, but we have disclosed on the show through Larry Nichols that Larry Nichols, an insider of all insiders, came on the show, and I didn't even know that he was going to do this, but he admitted to killing on behalf of the Clintons. And he did so without even giving us any advance warning. We had no idea what he was going to be talking about, but we just knew that his and all the stuff that he had to share was very, very important. So, he could, mention anything like that. But it was the first time he ever uttered those words, and I had no idea about it.
We had none. I was the one who produced the segment at that time. I booked him. I think it was like the second or third time he had been on our show. I did a pre-interview with him, just talking to him. You can go back and listen to the original outtake, and you can hear me talking to him and asking him, if everything was okay. We had a little bit of trouble connecting him. At no point did he ever apprise me of what he told Doug Hagmann on his show Thursday was a problem back then. There's something he told Doug Hagmann that I was never privy to, being the producer of that segment. I did not know what Mr. Nichols was going to say when he came on. I had no clue what he was going to say. Usually it was the same thing. He just talked about the Clintons. We didn't ask him to give us a pre-statement or what he was going to talk about. It was nothing like that. And, so I want everybody to know going forward that the crew, me in particular, who produced that segment, had no clue Mr. Nichols was going to come on and say that he murdered people for the Clintons. I had no idea he was going to do that.
Another thing we did, and this is something that he described afterwards, after there was a huge backlash, is that we did not know. We thought he was very healthy. We didn't know anything about any surgery. And we didn't know that he was on any medication. And if somebody wasn't as a matter of fact, I have spoken to Larry Nichols outside of this particular segment, and he could barely even speak for whatever medication or alcohol or any substance that he was on. That's the God's honest truth. But
he sounded, and also, may I say, if you go back and listen to that, I forget which episode it was, 500 and something.
517.
517. If you go back and listen to that, you will hear him. He sounds very coherent. He had his thoughts about him, his wits about him. He gave no indication that he was on any kind of medication, which is why he's saying now that he said what he said and he didn't mean it.
This is what I'm going to say, and this is by no means a means of disparaging Doug Hagmann. Period. And I'm going to say that this is probably the first time that Doug Hagmann has heard these words, and it was the original recording. Now, those are disputed words, but I want everyone to hear them, but mainly Mr. Doug Hagmann. I want him to hear these words by Larry Nichols back on September 24th, 2013. Here they are. Without further ado, and I'll stop it where I need to stop it, but here they are.
Absolutely. I did it. I mean, I guess I hate to admit it, but I beat up women, beat up husbands, to get my point across.
You know what? And you totally broke up just now. Do you mind repeating that last statement? Because I totally lost you, and it's technically at my side the problem.
I have actually beat up women and beat up husbands to protect the Clintons.
Wow. You've never said that to me before, have you?
No.
No, you haven't. So
it's just one of those things that you got to know. Not only have I killed people for, put me in jail.
You have never, you've never paid a penalty per se, because you've always been protected. Because that's what the Clintons do, is protect people like yourself. They send people like you out there to do their dirty work, don't they?
Yep. But now let's call a spade a spade. May I?
Oh yes, please do.
I've been all over the world. I've been all over the world killing people for this country. Some deservedly, some not. Didn't matter to me. Just what I was paid to do.
Yes, sir. Now, this is dating back how far, Mr. Nichols?
By the way, Pete,
and so have I what?
So have you. You've killed people in the name of this country.
Yes, I have. I have killed people in the name of this country. And patriotic, thinking that that we were fighting for our freedom. And we were doing the right thing
no
as a former
different than
United
I
States
am.
Marine, right?
You're no different than I am.
Did you think you were?
Ronald Reagan
Did you
sent
think
me
that?
to Nicaragua? When Ronald Reagan sent me to El Salvador, I did it for God and country, just like you would have done if he'd have called you.
Well, let me ask you something. At the time when you participated on behalf of the Clintons, did you believe that you were doing something patriotically and for the common good?
I didn't. Can I say the truth?
Yeah, please do. Yes, always.
I didn't give a shit.
Mm.
I didn't give a shit.
Mm.
I mean, hey, these people like Wade and Damon needed to be dealt with. So I went to the jail, cut his nuts off, put them in a jar, put formaldehyde in them, and left it there.
And Mr. Nichols, let me ask you something here. Sorry.
Larry, call me Larry, please.
Larry, let me ask you something. When you were connected to these people, was it just a time in your life when you saw this as an opportunity to remain connected to powerful people and move your way on up the chain of command? I mean, what motivated you at a time that time in your life to do
Just
their
money.
dirty work?
Just money. Just money.
Just money. You needed the money, and that was your job at the time, and you were just a victim of the circumstances.
Hey,
Yeah.
1 minute I'm doing something for our government, the next minute I'm doing something for Clinton. What difference was it? Pete, what was the difference?
Yeah, that's right. What was the difference? Yeah. And how did they present these tasks to you that you were performing? How did they motivate you to do these things?
I was F2. Whenever I got an F2 call, that meant go in and kill. State police are not trained to kill in that day. All right, this is the late 70s, early 80s. They're not. There were no SWAT teams. All right, there weren't.
Mm.
So when I got an F2 call, it meant go in and kill a guy. I didn't give a shit.
And who were, if you don't mind me describing,
what difference does it make?
it didn't even matter who they were. You were just given the task. You were told this is the person we need to take out. Did they tell you, look, just do it for patriotism, for the common good, or were you just given and you just responded to it by doing what you were asked?
Well, when it came to Reagan, as Michael Reagan put in his book, Making Waves, I'm the most honest person he's ever met.
Mm.
And his dad spoke highly of me. When it came from the president, it was for God and country. When it came from Clinton, hell, I didn't give a damn. And just go kill somebody. Cut their nuts off.
And you knew they were going to pay their bills. And you knew you were going to
pay.
You were going to get paid for your work. Wow. Yeah. Let me.
Or they pissed me off.
Did you say something pissed you off? I'm sorry.
I said, or they'd piss me off, and they didn't want to piss me off.
Wow. You've obviously kept a lot of things, to yourself for many, many years. In the beginning, you were afraid of them, weren't you? They were coming after you. They turned on you at a certain point. You had to defend yourself, didn't you?
I had to, because I didn't have any support groups. The media wasn't going to cover it. So if I died, they'd just pour alcohol over me and say I was drunk, crashed on the side of the road.
That's right. Telling the truth was easy for them to cover up because they could easily demonize you, and that's been done before. Now we've had.
You remember this, Pete? Remember this. I'm in that son of a bitch's memoirs, so there's something deep, or he wouldn't have put me there.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Now, what has? I'm going to ask you this before we go to the break here in about 20 seconds. What has kept you alive yourself, even despite how they normally take out their adversaries? What's kept you alive, do you think?
I'm a Green Beret. I'm trained. I'm trained to go into countries where the whole country chases me. I mean, I'm skilled, you know that, in staying alive. And we've got one rule. Kill them back first.
Kill or be killed, right?
So they want to send people. Yeah, they send people at me. I'll just kill them back first. I don't ask questions. I deal with it. You know that.
now, ladies and gentlemen, that was broadcast on September 24th, 2000.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It took a little bit because our show was much smaller. It couldn't get out as quickly as it can now, as this episode will, especially since this is the first time it's being broadcast during the Hillary Clinton campaign for president. Okay, but were we not shocked that he said that?
We were.
But even more shocked that no one ever really picked it up initially.
Right. We had a couple of people from alternative media run it, and I forget exactly who the website was, but it's a popular alternative website.
I think it's like Freedom Outpost or something like that picked it up. Right.
And they said, why isn't anybody talking about this? This guy came on the Pete Santilli show and admitted to murdering people for the Clintons, and nobody is saying anything.
I was actually pulled from Neil Cavuto. I was supposed to go on and talk to Neil Cavuto on his show, and the agreement that I was trying to make with the producer was that I was going to talk about Hillary Clinton. I knew about Benghazi, and I knew about Larry Nichols.
Yeah,
and
the murder for hire.
They pulled me from the. Oh, I'm sorry, not. It was Neil Cavuto or Sean Hannity, one of those guys. But they pulled me from the interview. I believe it was Neil
Cavuto.
Neil Cavuto? Okay. So they pulled me from that interview because I was going to expose these two things. Now that doesn't mean that Fox didn't want to cover it, because it started getting some legs.
It started too.
Yeah, and there were a couple 100,000 people that actually started hearing this thing.
Right.
And it hit Larry Nichols, and you guys are going to hear that. There's no doubt about it, that Larry Nichols got bombarded with requests. Now,
and so did we.
We did too. The mainstream media actually came to us at a certain point, and
They
wasn't.
did. I got a call from Fox News.
Right, from Fox News.
Yep.
They wanted
and the National Enquirer, by the way.
National Enquirer, Fox News. They wanted to speak with Larry Nichols.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the start of it. Another thing is that because Hillary Clinton has such control over the media, the mainstream media, was literally forced to, because the rate at which this broadcast was going, and Larry Nichols' comments, Hillary Clinton's control over the media likely suppressed Larry Nichols coming forward, because it was about to blow up, and Larry Nichols was a sought-after man at that point in time.
He was.
Now, let's fast forward here, okay? And let's say this. This is the first time a lot of people have ever heard these words by Larry Nichols. And Larry Nichols, since then, because of the backlash from his family, because of the backlash from some people in alternative media, and because of the fact, we've heard him time and time again go on small, podcasts and stuff like that, because he keeps getting interviews about his original comments.
That's right. And everyone knows about him killing for Bill and Hillary.
And that's fair, okay? But one thing...
Of course it's fair. He said it.
One thing that is always... It's very, very fair to do that. Those were his words you just heard. I was asking him questions. Larry Nichols came out and said that he killed on behalf of the Clintons, period. Now, I'm also going to say this, that to respect Larry Nichols' wishes, we did not give his contact information to the mainstream media.
We did not.
But we shored up and said, are you going, was this a hoax, or is this the real deal? You're going to hear those words. But this is what happened. He ended up in Doug Hagmann's, who I've already said I respect.
And a couple of other lower-rated shows.
Right. But Doug Hagmann, and when I heard from our listeners, from the E-Militia members, hey, Larry Nichols was on the Doug Hagmann show. And you know what? I listened to that, and I knew what Larry Nichols was going to be saying. But one thing that I sensed by listening, and you're about to hear this, was when he was on the Doug Hagmann show, I sensed that Doug Hagmann, didn't hear those words. And if Doug Hagmann had contacted me, Doug Hagmann, I would have played some separate recordings that really solidify in Larry Nichols' own words that he killed on behalf of the Clintons, and he couldn't come forward anymore after that. You're going to hear those words, especially Doug Hagmann needs to hear those words. We'll be back right after this.
What's your price? Well, it's hard to put a dollar figure on it, but marketers want to help people save money when marketers pluck their personal data off the web. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back with details in a moment. In these times of vanishing privacy, marketers are monitoring our behavior on the internet, aggregating our clicks, taps, and swipes to make fortunes. But what if you got paid every time your data was sold? A startup called Personal thinks it's not only possible, but profitable. How? By creating a web marketplace where people could sell access to their personal information. Users would upload intimate details of their lives to an online vault and then charge companies to access the data to market to them directly. Now, I'm all for making privacy vultures pay, but fighting for privacy by removing it feels like the wrong approach. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Michael Anthony's Private Stock. Your source for all natural, high quality, affordable, energizing, rejuvenating, powerful, healing herbal formulas. Hi, I'm Michael Anthony. Over 25 years ago, I designed my own line of herbal formulas to serve as allies in defending the body's health and well-being. My product line is a complete arsenal of protection. To find out more about my exclusive formulas, call 845-231-1094, 845-231-1094, or email Michael Anthony's Private Stock at yahoo.com. Michael Anthony's exclusive herbal formulas.
I'm Pete Santilli, and the very first experience I've ever had with vaping was with a company called TKO.com. Now, TKO is the official vape fuel of GMN and the Pete Santilli Show, and they're also supporting our efforts to launch the Veterans Media Network. If you go to gmnvape.com and enter coupon code N, you will not only launch the Veterans Network, you will also be our efforts to introduce vaping to veterans. GMN and the Veterans Media Network by purchasing your vaping supplies from TKO. Visit gmnvape.com. That's gmnvape.com. And remember to enter your coupon code VMN when you place your order. TKO is going to donate a portion of the proceeds to the Veterans Media Network, and shipping is free.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside a bunker in FEMA Region 5 in Cincinnati, Ohio, is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, the link to that first broadcast from back in 2013, we're going to provide that in today's episode. And I'm calling out on all mainstream media, if you call yourself a good person and a patriot, or anyone out there that gets a hold of that information, listen to Larry Nichols's, and I just played that. You can listen to the entire interview. Everything that he said came from his mouth, okay? We put it out there. He admitted to being a hitman for Hillary and Bill Clinton and killing people. Okay.
And let me say for the record, and to make this very clear, at no point did we ever coerce him into saying anything. Nothing. We had no clue.
It's his words.
And he came, right. And you guys will hear on that interview, he came out of the gates saying what he said. Out of the gates.
Right. Now,
that's what he wanted to talk about. He had a sensational story, and he was going to tell it, and we let him tell it.
Now, what I'm about to play to you right now was something that he said. This wasn't the first time, and I'm sure it's going to be the last time. Actually, I'm certain. After this
episode, the Hagmann?
This will be the Hagmann and Hagmann show from 7/30/2015. Here's Larry Nichols on the Hagmann and Hagmann show on Thursday night, and this came to us. Thank you very much, E Militia members who also listen to the Hagmann and Hagmann show. Right. And you know what? I wouldn't discourage you from doing that, because I love the show. I love Doug Hagmann, and he's not competitive. He's understanding what we're trying to do here. But here's what he said on Hagmann and Hagmann.
Sometimes the less romantic type of answer is the most accurate. I mean, Again, we don't have to hype anything. Sometimes the truth is just that. It's simple and straightforward. Very interesting. All right. Now, Larry, you had mentioned, and I've gotten probably a dozen emails about this. You had mentioned referenced Pete Santilli and something about murder. People are referencing an article here where people are asking if you had. Did you?
You can go ahead and say it, Doug, and I know it's uncomfortable for you, but I'll say it, folks. I did an interview with a guy named Pete Santilli. I had just had surgery, and I had come home, and they had given me for the surgery a drug called Versat, wherever that is. What I was trying to explain was kill them when they're young.
Right.
But I was so drugged up. I got a little crazy. And I was saying, we would kill them. I killed them. I meant I destroyed people. And I killed people in war. I ain't doubting that. I ain't denying that.
Right.
But I should have never done the interview, obviously. He should have never allowed me to do the interview. But I guess he was just in such a hurry to get a sensational story. And see, that's just another reason, guys, where I'm telling you.
That clears that up. I mean,
Doug, I hope you could say truthfully to answer to this. I don't think you've ever seen me dodge the question you've ever asked me, have I?
No, never. Yeah.
So, folks, let's, don't have to do crazy stuff to get me to. That one thing Pete Santilli did, I'm going to tell you. I accept that responsibility. That was my mistake. Mine. But that mistake could have cost us our country right now. Because, Doug, thanks to your audience allowing me to explain, I can only give the explanation that's the truth.
That's all we're looking for.
That's not good enough. There's nothing I can do about it. But I'll tell you this, there's a lot of people that aren't allowing me to explain, and they're just believing that.
No. Larry and folks, let me explain this to everyone. Larry and I have had off-air conversation, and I've got to tell you, Larry is everything he's saying to you tonight is, number one, extremely important. So please listen. And number two, it's not hyped, straight out as it happened, and as he sees it in the truth. And I'm going to tell you, Larry, I really appreciate that, and thanks for addressing that, because hey, stuff like that happens.
Well, yeah, and it's happening at the expense of Doug Hagmann's integrity, because Doug Hagmann, he's a good Christian man, tries to do the best work that he possibly can to bring the truth forward. Mm-hmm. Larry Hagmann was less than truthful with him. Now, that's my analysis based on what, because for something that important, mm-hmm. I probably, if I were Doug Hagmann, would have played the audio like, okay, so we heard you say this and you said that you didn't, you were on drugs, or mm-hmm. you had just had surgery. We never knew of anything. Yeah, because
he comes right out of the gate in the Hagmann. You guys can go listen to the Hagmann report interview from Thursday night. And he says, I never killed anybody. I never said I killed anybody. And mm-hmm. that's not true.
And flat out denies it.
He flat out denies it. And not only is it against, Mr. Hagmann, who is reputable, I believe. Mm-hmm. We've never had any problems with Doug Hagmann.
No.
It's also a slander to Pete Santilli, because this is not the first show that Larry Nichols has gone on here lately mm-hmm. and said the same thing. Now, the other shows were just a little bit, they're just small shows. We don't pay any attention to it. We're used to the garbage that comes out of those shows.
Right. But all in an attempt to attack our show. And
this time we paid attention because gotten to our listeners, and they're bringing it to us.
Yeah.
And you know what? Mr. Nichols seems to be wanting to backtrack at the expense of Pete Santilli and saying that it's Pete Santilli's fault. Again, I produced that segment. He never told me he was on drugs.
About surgery.
Ever.
We didn't know about any of that stuff. And in fact,
he sounds pretty coherent to me.
We did not know that he was going to say that on the show. And we have, no clue. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have everything recorded. You're about to hear that as well. Let me do this. Here's what Mr. Hagmann, who, to my best intuition, not knowing that he was being lied to by Larry Nichols. Now, what is the lie about? We'll talk about that. We're not going after Larry Nichols. I'm going after Hillary Clinton. I'm going after Bill Clinton. They hired Larry Nichols to commit murder. I would even go so far as to say this. I would want Larry Nichols to get immunity to come forward for what he knows.
Sure, we would stand beside him, and we did. We respected his privacy.
Yes.
When he asked us not to give his contact information to mainstream media, we didn't do it.
Right. We did not do that. But here's what Mr. Hagmann said at the conclusion.
So you're listening to the Hagmann and the Hagmann Report on this, the 30th day of July, 2015. Again, our guest, Larry Nichols. A great interview.
We're going to go. There's a little bit.
I want to respect his privacy.
We're going to skip the top of the hour news break too. By the
way,
Larry
Nichols. He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. He's had the Clinton family in his crosshairs, in him and theirs, and. Just make sure you tune in next Thursday. Off air we talked, and basically what we're doing here is bringing him back to lay out
if you want to help, you could send whatever. You know, folks, don't you send me a penny. Don't. If me needing your help makes you think I'm doing this just for money, then don't you dare do it. Please, don't. I just can't. I just can't take that. I don't have much left. You know that, Doug. I don't have much left. Yes, a long time ago I lost all of my pride and whatever. It's a poor man, poor excuse for a man that has to beg for help.
Well, Larry, look, you know, we're all human and we all go through trials and tribulations, but you've been through the ringer. And you know what I know that the audience doesn't know. Well, we'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get into anything. Hang in there, my friend.
Hey, come here, buddy.
All right.
Next Thursday, and you tell Joe he better be here. I'll get him from being tardy.
I'm going to do that. God
bless. Now, next Thursday, okay, I want to encourage Doug Hagmann to, you know, I would say that Larry Nichols, yes, has done a lot. Yes, he's made a lot of mistakes. Yes, he is continuing. And this is the type of person, you don't go hire a hitman who is just honest, ethical, and Christian. He's changed his ways, I'm sure. He has a lot of regrets. He's been left out on the curb. Mm-hmm. But we need to clear the air. Larry Nichols has not only admitted, okay, but now he's backtracking, unfortunately, at our expense on our show.
Yeah,
it's the Pete Santilli show. It makes us look bad.
Right.
And Doug
on
Hagmann,
purpose make us look bad. On purpose.
Yes, and Doug Hagmann has said this, and I'm sure he's going to regret it, especially after he hears the most important part of the presentation here. But he said this at the end of his show.
And you can read about Mr. Nichols, and you can read about his past, but understand there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. Case in point, the remark about the hitman. Well, now you know the real story.
It's not disinformation. It wasn't a remark about the hitman. And most importantly, Mr. Hagmann just heard it probably for the first time. He didn't hear that audio. I'm just assuming that based on how he was interacting with him. He didn't even play
we would hope.
the audio. We would hope so, right?
We would hope so. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But
at least now Mr. Hagmann has heard the original audio.
When you're gonna have somebody come on your show, and they are going to disparage somebody else and blame somebody else for something that you said, you better have your information right.
You got to do some research. All right, now not only did we not present on that September 24th, 2013, okay, Larry Nichols' own words that he killed people on behalf of the Clintons.
He
admitted that, okay, but we also shored it up, okay. And I'm going to tell you that several weeks after that original broadcast, this thing was going viral. Mainstream media was contacting me. Right. And we contacted him. Okay. And we said, hey, people are contacting you. I want, without further ado, I want to play this. So you guys tell me, this is weeks after his surgery, and I'm sure well after his medication had worn off, as he claimed.
Yeah.
There you are. Larry Nichols, you there?
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Pete. I'm at my mother. She's 86, and I just don't like to talk business around her.
Oh, that's okay. That's quite all right.
Nervous of people. She's afraid people going to try to come and kill me again because Hillary's looking like she's going to run.
You think she is, Larry?
Yeah.
I want to have a discussion, a little bit more lengthy discussion with you. But here's what I want to get clear with you. I have right now mainstream.
Let me tell you what I need you to.
Hold on one second. One thing I need to ask you. We need to get this out of the way first. Hold that thought. I have mainstream media, okay, that wants to speak with you about what you've already said on the record on my show. How do you want me to handle that?
I don't want to talk about killing anybody anymore.
You don't?
No, that got back to my daughter.
Uh-huh.
And it caused a lot of trouble. Now, they know what I did. My daughter didn't because she was too young.
Okay, yeah.
But you can imagine the shock when your daughter finds out you're a mercenary. Anyway, if you don't mind, we've done it. I said it.
Right.
You got it captured.
And you right. All right, let me ask you this. This is what I will do, and I will help you with respect to handling this mainstream media stuff. As far as what you said, what's on the record, it's already out there. But Larry, I've always been out there saying that, you came on my show, you said what you said, you were there, you personally, firsthand, you had knowledge of that stuff. This is already on the record. I mean, this is true. You're not pulling back. You're pulling back for personal reasons. You're not pulling back because it wasn't true, are you?
What? Hell no. You ain't never seen me shine.
I just wanted to know that what you told me, you're telling me man to man.
My ulterior motive.
Uh-huh.
Hillary is going to run.
I know, but hold on a second. Let me get this. I'll stand right beside you on this one. I just need to know this before we go forward. When you said I killed people for the Clintons on my show, that's what it was. It's on the record. Let people go by what was already on the record. But that was true. You're not pulling back because it's not true, correct?
No.
Okay. All right, good.
God, how can I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. No,
there's probably 50 people involved with the Clintons back then that knew I was up to.
Yeah.
And I was the hammer.
Yeah. And you have evidence of that. I've even said that on the air. You told me on the air, I have evidence of this. They're not going to sue me because I can prove it.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Okay.
What I really was originally brought in to do, state police during that day, when you had a sick killer hold up, the state police weren't geared like military people to go in and kill somebody. They just weren't. And so that's why I was called F2. I would go in when they had some crazy guy and he needed killing. I'd just go in and do it.
How many incidents like that were you involved in? You're saying more than one?
Oh my God! You talking about for the state police? Probably 15 to 20.
15 to 20. Wow. Okay. So your daughter is the one. No one from law enforcement contacted you about this stuff, did they?
No, they wouldn't dare have to contact me.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, I can.
Let me tell you now. You need to know my position. If the law comes for some reason, jacking with me, I'll just say, prove it, motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Prove it. And that's what they don't want, and that's why they stay away from you. Yeah.
You know, they'll say, well, dog, you said it on the air. All I got to say is shit. I must have been drunk that day.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not because I'm worried about fuzz, the police.
Right.
Hillary is going to run. Now, when she runs, the problem about what you have posted up there, they're going to use to discredit you.
They're going to use to discredit
who? They do, that's what I've had for a surprise for them all this time.
Okay.
Actually, what I did was set you up on your program.
You did.
To set me up.
You set me up to set you up. And so what's the strategy? What's the end game? What are you looking to do? You know what? You know what my position is on Hillary Clinton. She's a treasonous criminal. Yeah. She needs to be tried for that. So you already know what my position is. Let me
tell you, though, I'm about to say she's a sweetheart compared to that black son of a bitch we got that's Muslim.
Oh, I know, but I think they're working together sometimes. What do we need to do to take out Hillary Clinton? Seriously. You tell me, I will, for patriotic reasons, throw my body on the freaking hand grenade to get this chick out of the mix. Okay?
What you need to do is when she starts to announce, there will be all kind of media coming to you to get copies of, that program.
Right.
There will be every media in the world will come to get copies of that program.
It's already started.
And I will lay low. And then when Hillary gets put in a box, all I got to do is pull some stuff out that I got. Now, does that mean I might go to prison? There is no statute of limitation on just flat-ass murder.
Yeah.
But I'm smart enough, I think, to use the cases that you now know of my affiliation with the Arkansas State Police.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So these were actually sanctioned killings that I will use.
Yeah. And Larry, you know what? And I'm not going to advise you. You know, you're a sharp cookie. At the same time, American citizens would say, you know what? Tell us what you know. We'll freaking grant you immunity. You know, you've got that. You've got that hanging. You've got the truth hanging to where if you come forward with the truth, as far as you going to jail, quote unquote, you could be granted immunity if you come forward with what you know and what evidence you have. So keep that in mind, obviously, right?
Yeah, I don't need immunity. I need them destroyed once and for all.
Oh, man. All right, listen, what I understand, and we're going to have to, I have to break away here. Hey, Larry, let me ask you one last thing before we part. Outside of your daughter, have you gotten any indication at all that our message, like my message on my show, and yours, has it reached the Clintons?
For a month, I couldn't even hardly walk downtown Conway. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. It was the biggest pain in the ass I've ever had.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. Yeah.
Now, it caused a problem in that some of my neighbors that thought I was a mild-mannered marketing guy, found out I was a merc killing people. That bothered them a little bit. But they got over it.
Sure. Yeah.
My neighbor next door had a big banner made up, put on his roof. This is the other Larry's house. His name was Larry Kincaid, and he was afraid they were going to come get me or come bomb me or some shit like that.
Wow. So do you think it reached the Clintons?
We're going to make this happen.
Yeah, no, we are. Yeah, I want to. We have an obligation to. And by the way, I'm not doing it to be, a leader of anything. I'm doing it out of the same level of patriotism that I think you are. That's why I stand beside you through this effort. I believe you're a patriot, Larry, and I'm with you all the way to the end here. I want to help save my freaking country. My country has fallen. Yes.
They fucked around and made me mad. So mad that I'm coming up again and just going to make them eat everything I can.
Yeah. I'm with you. All right,
I've got to maintain this level of nuts to some degree. You are going to be the Rock of Gibraltar, and you're going to teach them. Just be thinking of things you can do with your audience. Simple tasks. We got to give them confidence. That's why they call it the confidence course in the military instead of the obstacle course.
Yep.
You're going to start out saying, come be with me and be ready to go into training.
Yeah.
This is no joke. We're mad as hell, and we're going to kick their ass out.
And we're going to take our country back.
We're going to take it back. And those are trite words. Everybody said, "Oh, my country back." And I hear that shit to the point where I'm getting nauseous. But this time, we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. That's right. I'll call you this weekend, okay?
We played that all the way through, and we normally come back at the 6-minute mark after the top of the hour news break. We skipped that and played it all the way through.
We did.
Now, you know what? I need to pause a little bit because I came into this episode with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy.
Yep.
Okay, and I want to state the following: that any opinions that I'm going to express from this point forward are directed at a treasonous, murderous, corrupt cabal called the Clinton family. Hillary Clinton has been involved with drug trafficking. How do I know that? Larry Nichols helped her. Okay? He told me that personally. He also has proof of that. He told me that personally. He said that on the show, that he's even helped facilitate Bill Clinton's sexcapades and drug dealings.
Right.
This is a criminal entity whereby President Clinton, Bill Jefferson Clinton, was already the president running his friggin' mafia operation. But Hillary Clinton now is running for office. I'm directing this and I'm bringing this forward as a matter of public interest because this woman, is running for president of the United States. She has a criminal inquiry going, and she also has somebody running around named Larry Nichols who said that he killed on her behalf.
Right.
Okay. So that's what this is about. Now, we already know that we have the U.S. Marshals listening, the Secret Service, we got the FBI, we got every freaking acronym in the federal government that they get paid to listen to the show. They even listen to Brandon Robb and read his Facebook pages, right? And if he should recite song lyrics and it's revolutionary, what do they do to him? They SWAT team him. Okay, so they monitor us for inappropriate activity and conduct, right? Well, they had an opportunity to listen to Larry Nichols' words back in 2013. What did they do? This is somebody who admitted to committing murder multiple times. That was back then in 2013.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard, was not put out in an article. It did not go viral. The words that you just heard, it didn't go out the way we did it the first time. Was it sensational? It was sensational based on what Larry Nichols was telling us.
Sure.
He was telling us he killed on behalf of the Clintons.
Yeah.
If you think that I was trying to be sensational, talk to Larry Nichols. Tell him not to say that on my show.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. And again, we respected his privacy. We did. The last interview that you guys heard, we didn't put it out there. We decided not to put it out there and to let it ride the way it was.
The way it was.
Yep.
And with integrity, and I'll even say it to this point, Larry Nichols, if you are the true Christian that you proclaim to be, and I do believe that you are, you must have a good heart. You need to not come forward and say, oh, I lied about the Pete Santilli thing. No, I couldn't care less. You can try to disparage me all you want. I will cover my butt just like I just did. You got stung, mother effer. You got stung. Don't ever try to do that to me, or you see what just happened. You just got caught lying. But the main thing is you need to tell the truth on behalf of the American people. You need to come forward with your evidence that you have against Hillary Clinton. Law enforcement, go do what you're supposed to do. Mainstream media, go start doing your job. You can try to demonize Pete Santilli sensationalism about putting stuff out there. That's not going to make it go away. As a matter of fact, we're going to kick it up a notch, and I'm going to ask all e-militia members, every single listener right now, whether you be a Doug Hagmann listener or whether you be, Hagmann and Hagmann, him and his son Joe, they do a great job. All Hagmann and Hagmann listeners, all Pete Santilli Show listeners, it's time for us to propel this information, to get it out to the appropriate personnel in mainstream media and even law enforcement, whatever it is that you do. A lot of law enforcement people are listening. If somebody admits to committing murder, how many times did he say he did it? He didn't say once.
Oh, over and over again.
15 to 20 people that he admitted in this last recording. And I want to make
this, again, I want to make this clear. We are not going after Doug Hagmann. We talked to him before the show. We told him we were going to do this. He knew that we were going to do this.
Yes.
Because this, we're not going after another talk show host here. Larry Nichols.
Well, hold on a second. Well, we would, if I suspected that Doug Hagmann was a dirty, you know what, I'd go after him in a heartbeat. I'm going to say this right now. I picked up the phone before we came on air, and I said, Mr. Hagmann, and I've said this to you, I've always respected your work for many, many years, and I want you to know that what I'm about to do is not to make him look bad. Because you know what? I sensed, and I told him this, I sensed you didn't hear the original recording of Larry Nichols in his own words stating it. And I said, you definitely didn't hear what we're about to play on the air tonight. You didn't hear that piece because that wasn't out there in such a big way. So we told Doug Hagmann, as a courtesy and out of respect for Doug Hagmann and his work, that we suggested that he listen to this. And you know what? And I told Doug Hagmann, he said, why do you think he did this? And I said, he's probably getting some pressure from the powers that be. Obviously, he's being told, if you want to continue to live, you better keep your mouth shut. But you know what? There comes a time, he's a sick man right now. He can come clean with all the wrongs that he's done on behalf of his country. If he's a patriot and a Christian, he'll do so. Yeah. Mr. Nichols, go turn yourself into law enforcement.
Sure.
Come forward with your evidence and say Hillary Clinton hired me to commit against people. If you told me this,
he said he beat up women for the Clintons. He beat up husbands for the Clintons. I mean, come on. It was sensational when he said it, and it's sensational now.
Right.
And to go on somebody else's talk show and deny it and put the blame, it's somehow that you forced him or taken advantage of him.
Right.
And for other people and with other shows to kind of prop that up.
Now,
prop
listen,
up that excuse. We had to come forward and put the truth out there because once again, we are getting lied about. We can't just let this go.
No, well,
we can't.
Obviously, people are going to try to do that because of our ferociousness and going after Hillary. No doubt about it. I've already claimed and have proof that Hillary Clinton knew that Christopher Stevens was negotiating arms from Al-Qaeda in Libya and to ship them to Al-Qaeda in Syria.
Right.
We have proof of that. Somebody on the ground that was there 3 days after Benghazi and said we were on the verge of a military coup. I put that out. What did I get from HuffPo? Oh, my goodness. He said something really disparaging towards Hillary Clinton. Took me out of context. But what I said in the beginning, she needs to be arrested, tried, convicted for treason. And the penalty for treason ultimately is the death penalty. Thankfully, I used colorful language, but that was taken out of context. Thankfully, I did, because we reached millions of people with that message. Nothing has changed. She's committed treason against the country, and in order for her to acquire power, she used people like Larry Nichols. Larry Nichols, I sense, wants to come clean. Larry Nichols, two things. If you're a Christian, come forward with your evidence. If you are a true patriot, come forward with your evidence now against Hillary Clinton. You are the one man to do it. Can you think of a close fighter than Larry Nichols to the Clinton cabal for what he is? Is there anyone that is closer to the Clintons as to their dirty deeds than Larry Nichols right now? Is there anybody?
No.
There's nobody. It's that important. This episode and what you are hearing, okay, will be suppressed by the mainstream media. It already has been. Okay? It already has been. It almost got out of their control. Because Larry Nichols knows that when the mainstream media wants to start shaking you down for information, that the mainstream media works for the Clintons.
Sure they do.
They want to do some digging. They got their Fox News insiders that are like, Larry Nichols has all the dirt and you might as well just go kill him.
Yeah, you know what? Quite honestly,
Right?
it's only my opinion, but I believe that Larry Nichols, after he said it and he realized what he had said, he knew that he needed to do some backtracking and some cleanup. End of story.
But
and
he's
trying to do it at our expense, and that's not going to fly.
Well, Larry Nichols, you do it at my expense. I'm going to tell you what the difference is between a U.S. Marine and a Green Beret, okay? Is I won't lay down, dude. I won't backtrack. I will stand my ground, and I will get in your face. And you want to do this at my expense? Mm-hmm. You're about to meet a U.S. Marine.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys why this is news. We got some people saying, "Why, bodyguards beat up people all the time," and blah, blah, blah. How is this news? News because this was the Clintons. That's why it's news. And the other reason it's news is because Larry Nichols is trying to say that Pete took advantage of him while he was drugged after a surgery, and that is an effing lie.
That's an effing lie. It's against Pete Santilli. But here's the most important part. Larry Nichols, A, admitted to killing people on behalf of the Clintons. Okay? And then B, when he was asked, are you going to backtrack on this thing? Or is it the truth, what you said? I shorted up, and he not only said that he had done it, but he had done it 15 to 20 times on behalf of the freaking Arkansas State Troopers.
That's right.
There is no corrupt law enforcement that could ever stop me from bringing that forward. You know why? Because you guys are the corrupt bastards that are suppressing this information. Mm-hmm. I am going to be the one. I'm not even in law enforcement. I'm a freaking radio talk show host that's bringing Larry Nichols on to say that he killed people on behalf of the Clintons. There is no statute of limitations, right? Mm-hmm. And what are they doing about it? Absolutely nothing. The government is not doing anything. The police are not doing anything. The mainstream media is not doing anything. And guess what? It's going to end up in my lap, in our lap. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do? Are we going to lay down? You think we're going to lay down? Absolutely not. This is where you find out who the true Christians and patriots are. Who will lay down at this moment? And anybody out there is saying, oh, this is not, did somebody say that that's not news? That it's not newsworthy? If you don't think that Hillary Clinton hiring a hitman to kill 15 to 20 people is not newsworthy, then you are too far gone. You are too far gone. It is time for you. I mean, I hate telling people to leave the country, but if you're, but you know what? Seriously, don't even weigh in. Just sit in your corner and diddle yourself and go watch Nickelodeon. You know, because you are not serving any purpose. Now, the rest of you that understand how important that this is, you need to get this information out. You need information out in a big way. You need to share this episode with as many people as possible, because I've already described to you who's not putting this forward. The mainstream media is not putting it forward. The mainstream media wants to sit on it. Why? Because Hillary Clinton is so deeply entrenched in billions and billions of dollars in transactions, she just about owns the mainstream media. That's not how our constitutional republic runs. It's we, the people, that control the flow of information, not Hillary Clinton. Okay? We are a nation of laws. It is against the law to hire somebody to kill people. It's against the law to kill people. It's definitely against the law to hire other people to kill people. And guess what else, ladies and gentlemen? You pukes in law enforcement that you all know, and you've listened to my shows. You can't skip over it anymore. Get this to your congressman. Why don't you go give it to Trey Do-Nothing Gowdy? How about that? You guys send this episode to all of those disgusting, filthy, freaking multimillionaire politicians that are beholden to the cabal of the Clintons or the cabal. Send this episode to them and send it to Trey Gowdy, that we have a person who is admitted to killing people on behalf of Hillary Clinton, wants to come forward, but nobody will do anything about it, because that's why we call him Trey Do-Nothing Gowdy. Will he do anything about it? Probably not. He'll do the same thing like he's been doing with Benghazi. He's afraid to subpoena the hard disk, the hard drives. He's afraid to go to the Pete Santilli show and listen to my friend, a CIA operative, who came forward and said that Hillary Clinton knew about an arms deal, negotiating arms from Libya, Al-Qaeda, to Libya and Syria. Trey Do-Nothing Gowdy doesn't want to hear that, of course. Why? Because he works for those freaking bastards. That's why. We, the E-Militia, we're fearless. We'll put this stuff out. You will not be able to compromise us. We will save our country, and I'm prepared to die in that spirit. You can come and kill me. It's not going to make it go away. You can attack my computers, SWAT team me, do all that stuff. Guess what? I got it so backed up that only God knows exactly what I got against you.
A carload of tea up alongside you and top a milkshake. Splat. What to do? I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll tell you how one woman lost her cool and $2,000 by seeking revenge. Next. In Palo Alto, a woman was out for a walk when a Range Rover full of teenagers roared by. As they passed, one of the teens tossed a milkshake, which, I'm sorry to say, hit its intended target. How did the woman react? Well, not well. She lost her head and hurled her purse at the car, which was a bad idea. For one, it was an expensive alligator skin purse, and two, it had $2,000 inside. The purse sailed through the car's open window, and the teens drove off, minus one milkshake and $2,000 richer. The moral of the story? When milkshakes fly your way, it's always best to keep your cool. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
The Pete Santilli Show has been growing strong since 2011. That's almost 4 years of bringing you the kind of information you will never find on AM/FM radio. Pete Santilli and his crew have brought stories like Clive and Bundy to the national spotlight, the border crisis in McAllen, Texas, and has bravely confronted corrupt legislators who would imprison pastors like Reverend Edward Pinckney and Ken Hovind. Recently, the Pete Santilli Show traveled to Baltimore, where he stood side by side with the people against the tyrannical police state, just like he did at Bundy Ranch. For 4 years, the show has been a voice for the oppressed and targeted in this country, and now we have our sights set on getting long overdue justice for the survivors of the USS Liberty. Donations to the Pete Santilli Show not only guarantee we remain on the air without being censored, but it also gives us the power to go when and where we are called. There is so much left to do. Go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate because giving feels great.
Many people have experienced the benefits of drinking all-natural Life Change tea. The unique blend of 8 herbs helps detoxify your body so you can live a healthier life. Numerous testimonies have been given about the benefits of drinking Life Change tea. So are you drinking Life Change tea? Interested? Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Many are so impressed with our product, they order a year's supply. And why not? When they do, they receive 2 months free. That's a $70 savings. The body is meant to heal itself. Sometimes the body just needs a little help. Get the tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. This is not an ordinary green tea and is not available in stores. This tea helps with digestive problems, acid reflux, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and as talk show host Jerry Doyle says, it'll make you as regular as a baby bird. Enjoy your life. Get Life Change tea at getthetea.com.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? I told you that I was going to have Dr. William Mount on the show. And I'm going to go so far as to say this. This is the 3rd visit, and I'm going to say that Dr. Mount, who we'll put up on the screen here momentarily, Dr. Mount is one of my favorite guests that we've had on. And I'm going to call him a family member of the Pete Santilli Show, okay? Not just a guest that deserves such a long 15, 20-minute grandiose introduction. Let me put him on the phone here. Oh, did we just lose him? Okay. Dr. William Mount, are you there? Dr. William Mount, are you there? Okay, we're going to get Dr. Mount on the line. Huh? It's not? Okay. Am I? Hold on just 1 second, you guys. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Let's try that. Okay, let's try it again. Dr. Mount, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. I hope you were able to hear all of the stuff that we're talking about with respect to Hillary Clinton. I'm hoping so.
Yes, I
Okay. Now, Dr. Mount, first of all, I want to allow, just because we had a problem technically bringing you back on the line, which I'm sure, as we have these such important guests and important topics, the powers that be love to fiddle and fiddle. But that's okay. That's I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I can talk about that. But Dr. Mount, here's what how perfect. Dr. Mount, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm getting an enormous amount of interference.
Yes.
We are too. Stand by.
See, what did I tell you?
I'm going to blow your mind with this. Hillary Clinton was on the board of directors of the Lafarge Company, and Senator Rigel fined the Lafarge Company for violating the Commerce Act and selling thousands of nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. And Joyce Riley put out a film showing the nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons Hillary sold to Iraq before the first Iraq War. And she had pictures of nuclear, biological, and chemical suits that was sold to the Iraqi soldiers after the war had started by Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton took over Mena, Arkansas, in Arkansas as governor. Now, Mena, Arkansas, the U.S. Air Force Base, is the primary bringing in of drugs from Southeast Asia. And Carl Sanders, trumpetmin.com, designed the Verichip that is supposed to be put in your hand to track, he told me, and he has it online, you can look it up, to track the drugs from Southeast Asia. And I have a friend named Gordon who is going to be the supply sergeant for Mena, Arkansas. And he left the military after 18 years, and the Clintons got him thrown out of the military because he refused to be the supply sergeant and track the incoming drugs that Bill and Hillary had the State Patrol run with the U.S. Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Now, John Shapiro, assistant director of the U.S. State Department, said 1 June 2012, I believe, that the purpose of the State Department is to sell weapons. So Hillary Clinton was selling 400 tons of weapons to the Mujahideen al-Khaliq, the MEK. Yeah. Christopher Stevens, ambassador to Libya in Benghazi, took the commission. Well, that didn't go over with Hillary. So that night, Hillary and whatever Obama they have, the big-eared Obama, the Obama with the jowls, the Obama with the London accent, or maybe the Obama without the wart. Anyway, they watched him die, and they said this on the news. They were watching Christopher Stevens die. Now, the head of the largest military base in NATO, which is an arms deal, not a military treaty deal.
Yes.
I read the original treaties in 1950 by Colonel Terry Spawn. The military base went to save Christopher Stevens, and they were ordered to bring their transport planes back.
Yes, sir.
So they killed him, and the next day, 400 tons of within an hour after Christopher Stevens died, Hillary Clinton purposely took the Mujahideen al-Khaliq off the terrorist watch list, and they were the ones that killed Christopher Stevens. 300 tons went to Syria. 100 tons went up to a particular base in Chechnya, and I warned the Russians in a story where the military equipment was going, and the Russians destroyed 92 bases in Chechnya and seized 100 million tons of weapons, and that was all over the Russian paper on exactly the day I said it would be seized, and that can be documented in the Russian papers and in some of our papers, but very few of our newspapers. And then the same day they killed Christopher Stevens, Hillary also killed the Japanese ambassador to China, which had a peace deal over the islands, because Yangsha Island, which is actually they call it Scarborough Shoal, is a mountain of gold, and it's been in joint Chinese-Japanese hands since World War II, and they started drilling into the volcano, and they said, oh, my God, this is a mountain of gold. And I wrote the Chinese leadership and said, give it to the Habsburg line, because they hate the Rothschilds. So the Chinese negotiated a deal to send the gold to the Habsburgs. This is international politics at its finest.
Yes, sir. Now, let me ask you this. A couple of questions. I want to get your input on this, because I know you to be a patriot, a good Christian man that is pursuing the truth, exposing the truth to the best of your ability.
Hey, only God could show me this. Let me tell you, this could not And Field McConnell showed me that Hillary and Mitt Romney's wife were leading children up north of Idaho for children's snuff films and children's sex films, so that if you're an insider, when you get a stock tip, it's downloaded onto your computer. And when it's downloaded, if you speak out like this guy, this highway patrolman, they're going to arrest him for child pornography on his computer that came from Mitt Romney's wife and Hillary. And this is why Mitt lost the election. He was at 55 to 45. And the Chinese said they paid the head of the Diebold thing. And at 9 o'clock our time, all of a sudden it was 55, 45, not 45, 55. Mitt Romney won the election. But the Chinese received the same information I did, and Mitt was going to start World War III 2 weeks after he took office. This is international politics at its finest, and Hillary's right in the middle of this crap, and she killed over 200,000 of my veterans with her biological weapons.
Yes, sir. How is she able to remain unscathed? She is Teflon-like. Nothing sticks to her. The mainstream media will not cover it because she virtually owns them. Why is she at the highest pinnacle of power to where she's untouchable? Is that true?
Yes. Yes, there is a although not necessarily. You know that the Chinese run the IMF.
They're very powerful and influential now. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it's not the Red Dragon. The 21. They claim they had 1 times 30 zeros from death. No, they didn't. They had 21 trillion, and it turned out to be a banking thing. The banking families wanted to invest the 21 trillion because China is losing money hand over fist, and I called them out on it. But the reason the Chinese took over the IMF is the Rothschilds were sending a nuclear weapon to London to blow it up, and I notified them, and the Chinese walked into the negotiations, cussed out the Rothschilds, cussed out representatives of the Pentagon, and cussed out representatives of the White House, took over the IMF. They seized the nuclear weapon because the 2 Chinese submarines blocked it in Halifax. The Rothschilds could not leave Halifax with a nuke, and they said, if you blow up London, we will kill you. This is it, and Hillary's right in the middle of it. She's one of but I'm telling you, there's been a lot of banksters that have been killed because they're not cooperating with the Chinese. And the Chinese took over the IMF 2 weeks ago, and like the United Nations says, the war here on Earth represents the war in the heavens. And the Rothschilds have already lost this one.
So in this war, where is Hillary Clinton ranked as far as power and control?
Hillary Clinton is a puppet, and we all know Hillary Clinton. She was going to Iran after she killed 2 ambassadors, and the landing gear came out from underneath her plane. Mm-hmm. She was damaged. She was like 70 years old. Right. And then a 30-year-old with thin hips, Hillary Clinton, showed up at the State Department to resign. A 30-year-old with thin hips, she was actually a hot Hillary. Hillary's old. She's got wrinkles around her wrinkles. So some 30-year-old Hillary shows up. There's 3 or 4 doubles, and we saw John Kerry. He has a thin chin. You look at his inauguration picture, and the new John Kerry has a really fat chin and deep inset eyes.
It's really bad plastic surgery. That's definitely true, right?
Yeah, and I told John Kerry, he put Teresa Hines in a coma for 6 months, and she'd wake up and she'd sign the Heinz Ketchup factory over her, and then she'd go back into a coma, and she'd wake up and she'd sign some more papers. So I told John Kerry, the same thing you did to your wife, God will do to you. So he has said it, so it shall be. So now John Kerry's sitting in Boston Hospital, coming in and out of a coma, and then he'll die. And they might have killed him, I don't know. But the new John Kerry, really bad plastic surgery. And Jim Willey said they paid him a ton of money, and he's and I found out he's transferring nuclear weapons to Iran. Now, I originally went to Russia 8 years ago to help Russia seize 350 nukes that we built for Iran. And that was all over international television at the time, and Putin took all the credit. Whoopee. But now, Kerry's he transferred, he was in the North Korean papers, he transferred 128 nukes to North Korea, he transferred 12 to Vietnam, he transferred 50 to Saudi Arabia. So the United States Corporation gets the oil from Saudi Arabia free in exchange for weapons, called Weapons for Peace. Then the United States Corporation turns around and sells that oil to Mobil or Chevron or whoever. That oil is pumped out of Saudi Arabia and given to us for free. So they got all these weapons, so they're bombing everybody now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Now, Dr. Mel,
that's Hillary Clinton.
Let's go back. Let's go back to this Iranian nuclear deal. Just real quick, touching on Kerry. Did you hear John Kerry's remarks to at the Senate hearing when they were talking about the secret side deal. There was a secret side deal, and John Kerry said that he couldn't disclose the contents of that side deal that the Ayatollah had access to because he wanted to respect the privacy of that arrangement, of course, and also the fact that that the arrangement was done through the IAEA, which is an international body that's overseen by the UN. He said that on the floor of the Senate. That the Ayatollah could know the details of that secret side deal, but the American people could not.
Let me tell you a little thing. 8 years ago, I went to Russia to do several things. Number one, the FBI was trying to sell Putin through their church $750 million in fake bonds. And I said, they're not going to attack us over my dead body. I'm going to expose this crap. And I went there to explain to him that Iran had 350 nukes, and that's why they want a nuclear war. And I went there to expunge myself because the FBI stole every dime I had to make the bonds. So when I came back from Russia, my home was occupied. All of my money was gone, which was considerable, and I was living on the streets. So I took my home back and rebuilt my furniture with my bare hands. I figured we've got a plywood mill down here, and they make peeler cores, and I can build log furniture. So that's what I did. I took my little pension, and I started rebuilding everything. And this is an international fight between the FBI, CIA, the United States, and the rest of the world. And the Jesuits said it best. They said, when a man stands up to me, he says, we have stolen your country, we the Jesuits. When a man stands up to me in the name of the living God on international television, and you can see this in Hans Kohlenbach's interview, April 15th, 2000, it's on the net. He says, not only will we be destroyed, but we will make our final base in the United States, and we will be destroyed along with the United States. Now, this is Hans Kohlenbach 15 years ago.
Wow.
And then he described who the Jesuits have killed, like Lincoln and Kennedy, and how they tried to kill Reagan, and what the names of the individuals were, and how they have killed several popes. And then he described how they were going to destroy the United States through massive immigration and the browning of America, because he said brown people can't compete with white people. Open the world up and make them all our slaves. The United States will go down to the last bastion of Jesuit and the Lucifer followers. And on the 25th of September, the Pope will address the United Nations and order 1.2 million Catholics to obey their bishops. And I don't know if Pastor Lindsey Williams is right on this, because he's wrong an awful lot. And, just give me $48 and I'll tell you how to live between September and December. But he says the Pope's going to order all the Catholics to take the chip. And then the 20th of October, the New World Order
And this is supposed to happen when he addresses the United Nations.
That's correct. But he also said, and I don't know if this is true, Lindsay said on the 24th of September, they're going to try to throw a meteorite at us. Just smash the world.
Very interesting.
And we all know that Oppenheimer created a bomb that cracked the world in half in 1950. So don't tell me 65 years later we can't blow a meteorite out of the sky. I'm sorry. Just look up the X-35 Aurora. 30 years ago, they developed the X-33 Aurora. Anti-gravity propulsion system, the X-22, the X-11. We had X-11s in the first Gulf War knocking the tanks out for Iraq. You spin Mercury one direction, you spin it the other way, and you have an anti-gravity propulsion system. I showed the patent on television, and a year later, Iran built their first flying saucer.
By the way,
all over the Iranian press.
Dr. Mount, we're going to go to a break here in just a minute here. But I want, when we come back, I want to pick up where we can with Hillary Clinton, of course. But what do you say to people that are hearing your voice? You have so much information, sir. And in almost every case, I say almost every case that I've ever went to research and check your assertions that you make, like when you claimed in January of 2015 that Yemen would be attacked. It actually came true. What do you say to the people that say, all the stuff you talk about is all conspiracy theory? What do you say to those people?
United States Code 2, Section 286. The United States is a corporation. Is that United States Code, or is that a conspiracy?
Yes, sir. We'll be right back with Dr. William Mount. Ladies and gentlemen, he promotes liberty. He says that if he's the last man in North America who demands freedom, as God intended it, then so be it. He joins me right after this. Don't go away.
Debbie Jordan, we're halfway through 2015. Back in January, I got you your first TKO Vapor Kit. How do you like it so far?
I still not haven't had a cigarette since my birthday on January the 27th.
What do you love most about vaping?
You know what, Pete? I love it because it's clean, I feel healthier, and I can smoke anywhere that I want to, and I don't have to go outside.
And vaping tastes great, doesn't it? All the flavors by TKO are absolutely phenomenal. From fruity to just about every flavor that you could possibly imagine.
The flavor is fantastic.
If you go to gmnvape.com, you can order a starter kit. You can get your flavors of some of the best vape fuel that you'll ever find on the planet. Go to gmnvape.com. You can enter a coupon code GMN for a 10% discount directly to your door. Go to gmnvape.com.
Suzanne, what's the best way to stay warm this winter?
Oh, that's easy. It's Tahiti Joe's hot sauces.
Okay, but what flavor?
Well, that's not so easy. Because so many to choose from.
Polynesian,
Tropic garlic,
Tahitiaki,
volcano ahi,
camel toe hot sauce,
analyze this.
Quadruple X Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's hot sauces and the Maui. All those sauces are made with a beautiful array of ingredients with no added and are prepared with a tropical passion for the perfect balance of flavor and heat delivered directly to you.
So warm up your winter with the tropical taste sensations from www.TahitiJoesHotSauces.com.
Joe's hot sauces. Get some
today.
Many
people have experienced the benefits of drinking all-natural Life Change tea. The unique blend of 8 herbs helps detoxify so you can live a healthier life. Numerous testimonies have been given about the benefits of drinking Life Change tea. So are you drinking Life Change tea? Interested? Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Many are so impressed with our product, they order a year's supply. And why not? When they do, they receive 2 months free. That's a $70 savings. The body is meant to heal itself. Sometimes the body just needs a little help. Get the tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. This is not an ordinary green tea, and it's not available in stores. This tea helps with digestive problems, acid reflux, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and as talk show host Jerry Doyle says, it'll make you as regular as a baby bird. Enjoy your life. Get Life Change tea at getthetea.com.
Live from your little bunker in FEMA Region 5, you're listening to The Santilli Show.
Okay, I'm back with Dr. William Mount. So, Dr. Mount, if you don't mind, let's start off this next segment here.
Okay.
This next segment about Hillary Clinton. So, in this episode, okay, back in 2013, I originally had Larry Nichols come on my show. I didn't even know he was going to say it on my show. He said, I killed people on behalf of the Clintons. It was bombshell. It went everywhere. The mainstream media was contacting me. They wanted to speak to Larry Nichols. This is weeks after it went out. But anyways, that was put out there.
Now, he has a non-disclosure agreement. So now that he's disclosed, I've never signed an agreement. And the guy who's the head Jesuit said, the man who exposes us, if anyone touches him, we have orders to kill him because he is the man from God. That's what Tom Kovenbach said. So Hillary Clinton, there's a track of over 128 people they killed to cover up the drug sales.
Yes, sir.
They are selling drugs to build their underground cities because they believe they're all going to have to go underground. And I've asked several times for some of their underground cities to be blown up, and they were. So they're highly susceptible to whoever's out there because they blew the one up under Mineral, Trinidad. They blew the one up under northern Italy. They've blown up a dozen of these underground bases. And the ones that the Congress is going to hide in have cyanide canisters behind their little panels. So they're going to go in there, and there's little green and red ones. So these Congress is going to hide underground in Virginia, and they're going to kill them.
Yes. Yes. Now I kind of, and I've said this, I feel bad for Doug Hagmann because from the Hagmann and Hagmann show, because Larry Nichols went on there. He was less than honest. But you're saying that Larry Nichols is under a non-disclosure agreement. He would be killed, but he's sick. He's late. He's up there in his age. What would you say? And Larry Nichols is going to hear this. What would you say to Larry Nichols if he in fact knows, and he has already admitted, that he killed 15 to 20 people at least on behalf of the Clintons? What do you say?
The only way he can live, the only way his children can live, and the only way his grandchildren can live is if he does a complete, full disclosure, because they will kill his children and his grandchildren. And I learned this in Russia when one of the gals did something she wasn't supposed to do, and I was pulled aside, and when I was in St. Petersburg, I went, wandered around, got lost, came back in at 2 in the morning, and the entire hotel staff was standing at attention. And I said, "Stupid American," and went to bed. Well, I was told that the gal at the counter had done something, and they're going to throw the grandparents or parents and her out on the streets because she had done something to me inappropriate. And so I went to the manager and said, "Hey, wait, that was my fault." It wasn't my fault, but I said it was my fault because I knew that they were going to destroy the entire frickin' family. If they ever get a job again and they couldn't leave Russia, they would forever be homeless. This is how vicious the Clintons are. They will kill millions of people to get what they want. Look what they did in Iraq. Look at the 200,000 veterans that are dead. We have a guy named Steve who calls me, who apparently knows you with COPD. We're doing everything we can for him. We racked our brains out. I called TV hosts, Pat Shoop and some others. What can we do? He's got everything in front of him. This is a disease that apparently broke out in the Pittsburgh hospital. It's man-made, like Lyme's disease, like hepatitis B, C, D, E, F, and G. We posted the U.S. patents on. We posted the patents on HIV. We gave the cure for HIV, but there is hope because Hillary is into killing people, and God said, we're going to watch the evil die. What we need to focus on in our family, okay, here's the cure for cancer, here's the cure for diabetes, here's how you make an income, here's how you heat your home, because all of these evil people are going to start killing each other now.
Now you're saying...
I don't know. I think the original Hillary's dead, and I think the original Obama's dead. He had a stroke in China. So we've got number 2 and number 3. They just drop these people like flies and put somebody in.
Yes, you're saying this to Larry Nichols, who I'm sure is going to hear your words right now, that the best way he can protect himself and his family, I think he's a patriot. I think he is a patriot, but I think he's running a little bit scared. He's backtracking a little bit, but he can't backtrack in his own words that I put in today's show. But you're saying that the best way he can save himself and protect himself is to come forward with full disclosure. Then.
Well, he's old. Who's dying? The best thing, he's got cancer, and he's got really bad heart disease, and he's already had a couple strokes. I don't know if I told you, but I'm a medical into it as well. The best thing he can do is go online, watch the film, The Cure for Cancer, and heal himself, and then do a full disclosure.
Yeah, it's at this
only
point.
When he does a full disclosure and say, "I am the only one doing the full disclosure, not my family. They knew nothing." He has to cover his family. Some of the CIA agents who kill and murder and destroy and do this for a living and have no conscience. Some of them, when they get older, have a conscience. I spent an hour with a guy who killed probably 100 people for a small South American country like Guatemala. Or Honduras or something. And I spent about an hour with him discussing the PTSD that he had when he would wake up and punch his wife in the face. And when they hit 45 or 50, these CIA agents, some of them, not the NSA, but some of them grow a conscience. And they might not order the killing of his family. And if he's dying of some weird cancer or disease, they might not even order his death because he's already been sentenced to death. So some of them have a conscience. Not a lot, but some of them do.
Well, Larry Nichols claims to be a Christian man. And I do think that if he asks God for forgiveness for what he's done, all the bad things he's done in his past, I'm sure that he'll receive forgiveness. But if he is a good Christian man, he'll come forward.
God says, yeah, you can ask forgiveness. Lord Buddha said, now this is Buddha, the great Buddha of, Hinduism and all that. Lord Buddha said, there is a man coming after me that will have holes in his round holes in his hands and round holes in his feet and scars on his forehead, and he will be the Son of God, and then we will no longer reincarnate, and we will have a choice of heaven or hell. This is Lord Buddha saying this. He was the king of a region, so King Buddha. We don't like to think of him as a king, but he was actually the king of a particular region. And yeah, if he asks forgiveness, he will be forgiven, but the proof is in the pudding. The guy who's got $3 trillion of stolen money, like Dick Cheney, if he comes to Yeshua, if he doesn't give the money back, he didn't repent, did he?
No, he certainly did not. That's absolutely
But he'll
right.
die with that money. But boy, he's got Jesus beside him. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, sir.
You have to turn back on everything. All the stolen money has to be given back. You have to disclose everything you do. You can't just say, God, forgive me. Oh, good, I'm going to heaven, but I get to keep all that money. It doesn't work that way.
Dr. Mount, I in the remaining moments that I have here, I really want everyone to get to know you and understand why I believe, and I think that you're a true patriot. I believe you're one of the best guests we could ever have on because you approach these issues fearlessly. I want you to tell our listening audience why you'll approach these issues that typically get people killed, and you don't worry about that. You worry about serving your country and serving humanity. But tell our listening audience why you pursue these issues the way you do.
I see billions of people dying. We've stopped over 100 nuclear strikes and over 100 assassinations on the president by knowing who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like on the 4th of July, Obama went to the Pentagon because I told him in May and June there was an attempt on his life. My job is, God sent me here to save lives, to offer solutions for cancer, to offer solutions. Here's how you clean up Fukushima. Here's how you save the president on the 17th of August, another attempt on his life, another nuclear strike, but that's already been taken care of. My job is to stop the nuclear strikes. My job is to give people solutions and hope, because that's what God's about. You got cancer, here's hope. You got COPD, this is hope. I was not sent here to say, hey, save the president, I want $1 million. I was sent here to say, hey, stop the assassination and think about what you're doing. And if you want to continue, that's fine, but the blood's on your head.
Yes, sir.
I'm a messenger, just a messenger. And if they want to kill me, fine. Hans Kolenbach has given the orders to protect me. The Chinese have given the orders to protect me. I've been shot. I've been stabbed 4 times. I've been poisoned 3 times. I've had all my money stolen. I've lived on the road 6 months because everything in my house was stolen. I even had to replace some lights.
Oh boy!
The lights were taken.
Are the Chinese? Are the Chinese good? Are they good people? The Chinese?
Oh, they're just as evil as everybody else.
They are. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. But why are they protecting you?
Because they don't want to die in a nuclear conflagration. I got involved in this when I got on my knees in November 2006 and said, what do I do, God? And the 2 senior special forces, the 2 command sergeant majors for Fort Lewis, 1st Special Forces Group, not the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, the 1st Special Forces Group, said, we're going to nuke Salt Lake after we kill Bush. And they said, you're in federal court because you know that our records are sold all over the world. And you're the only guy we can go to who has the guts to face this. And I said, I'm just a disabled vet. What are you talking about? And then they were gone. And through a series of events, I was able to notify the president, and they got the nuclear weapon 6 blocks south of the Cow Palace in Salt Lake City. And that's how I got into this. And I didn't believe it was happening until the Secret Service cussed me out in Vienna for doing it. That's when it began in April, May of 2007, when the Secret Service on camera in Starbucks cussed me out. How dare you save the blankety-blank's president's life? Salt Lake was supposed to go up in flames. This was on camera next to the Marriott Hotel in Central Vienna. It's documented. And I'm sitting there after I helped them, and then I stood up, and all I could say is, I swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. We're supposed to save the president's life. That's why you're in the Secret Service, you numbskull.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I forgot about it, and I come home, and I'm having a Coke because I don't drink at Oscars, and I meet Bill Kirkpatrick, head of the U.S. Marshals, And he's telling me how great he is. He's got a card. He was knighted by the Queen. And I give him my name, and he did the same thing the Secret Service did, right in front of all kinds of witnesses. And I looked at him, and I said, in a very calm voice, we're supposed to save the president's life and stop nukes from going off in this country. And Bill Kirkpatrick, I still have his card. It's unrippable-uppable. It's one of these cards you can't rip up. And he took a shot of whiskey, and he took a swig of the beer, and he laid some money on the counter, and he weighed about 400 pounds. He's about 5'8", and he stormed out of Oscars. And I'm like, wow, man.
Wow. Now, Dr. Mount, in the remaining, that's an amazing story, and we have just a couple minutes left here, and I want you to tell our listening audience right now the research that you do. They're not you're not clairvoyant to predict these future events. You've done your research, your homework. You understand geopolitics probably better than most. What should everyone be honing in on as to the coming in the coming weeks and months? What should we be focused on as to what's going to happen in our world? Everyone knows something is very, very wrong in the world.
Okay.
What do we need to pay attention to?
If you can, get away from the coasts or leave the country, because this country's set for destruction. If you cannot, get a couple of barrels, drain your hot water tank, get 3 months of food and water, and get a gun. Because when it all comes, and you can take a 50-pound bag of rice, and you can take 2 cups, maybe 4 cups of diatomaceous earth, and mix it with the rice and put it in 2 5-gallon buckets, and you got a lot of food right there, and it costs you $15. So maybe $20 if rice is high. And
why diatomaceous earth?
And you've got food.
Why diatomaceous earth? Why DE? Why diatomaceous earth?
Oh, because when you mix rice with diatomaceous earth, you don't get moths.
Aha, there you go.
You don't get maggots. The diatomaceous earth kills the maggots, and then when you rinse the rice, diatomaceous earth takes the fungicide off the rice, so you don't get sick from the rice.
That is great advice. This is the first time I've ever heard that. That is great advice, because I'm big on prepping with rice. Dr. William Mount, thank you so much for everything. This isn't going to be the last time we'll have you on, but thank you so much for taking the time out. And how can we get in touch with you? You're obviously on Before It's News. We'll provide that link to your articles you put out. Where else can we reach you?
My telephone number's on the video, The Cure for Cancer.
The Cure for Cancer. Fantastic.
We do it before the Civil War.
God bless you, sir. We love you very much. You know that, right? I mean that sincerely. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. All right, everyone, it's Beer Dark 30. As soon as we come back from the top of the hour news break, grab your Miller High Life.
Hi, this is Danny with the Pete Santilli Show. And for almost 1,000 episodes, I've been responsible for making sure that Pete does everything he can to Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA. In the coming days, we're going to be kicking it up a notch. And there's no doubt that every 3-letter agency will be having nervous breakdowns trying to figure out how to silence us. Our message is simple. It's time to get every single American who cares about what's happening in this country in the streets to shut the system down. We're not willing to sit around and wait for the feds to come get us. We're going to take it to them. But we need your help. Obviously, corporate America won't be cutting us a check so we can shut down their businesses. So we need the support of our listeners. Please go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate and help support our field reporting. You may not be able to join us in the streets, but this is the best way you can help. Go to thepetesantillishow.com and give now, because giving feels free.
Life Change Tea. Log on to getthetea.com. Find out why so many people reorder this product. The results will blow you away. If you have health problems and need help, order Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If it didn't work, reorder. We sell a 1-year supply at a discounted rate. 2 8-ounce glasses a day helps keep sickness away. Read the numerous testimonies of how thousands and thousands have been helped by drinking Life Change Tea. Many talk show celebrities are not only talking about the tea, but using it. Feel good, lose a little weight, and enjoy your life at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. You can also call our friendly staff at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Life Change Tea, all natural, USA, no caffeine, great tasting detox drink. Join the leaders who have taken control of their health. GetTheTea.com.
GMN is giving the finger to the NSA. This is GMN Ken. Kelly Show.
Corruption of your thoughts, destruction of your soul.
Introducing Michael Anthony's Private Stock Herbal Formulas, infection killer for all infections. Bacterial, fungal, parasitic. My Rapid Heal for all injuries enables the body to mend super fast. My System Toner, the Rejuvenator, tune-up for the entire body, head to toe, keeping it youthful, the mind positive and focused. Dragon Juice, the Revitalizer, pure power in a delicious drink. If your body's dragging, you need Dragon Juice. Lung Formula for asthma and all lung afflictions, arthritis fix, great tasting herbal teas and more. Michael Anthony's Private Stock exclusive herbal formulas. To find out more, call 845-231-1094 or email Michael Anthony Private Stock at yahoo.com. Michael Anthony's Private Stock exclusive herbal formulas.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. A standoff between labor and management over benefits could trigger a Verizon walk-off in 9 states. Labor spokeswoman Candace Johnson of the Communications Workers of America says that workers are unimpressed by the company contract offer.
It's a company where top executives are paid very well, yet it's a company that's making outrageous demands for givebacks in terms of health care benefits from workers, terms of their retirement security.
Verizon spokesman Richard Young says the company will continue to serve customers with other employees if there is a labor action.
Our employees have been trained how to climb telephone poles, how to repair wires on poles, how to handle customer service calls and service inquiries. So we feel that we're in a good position to take care of our customers and these unionized employees go out on strike.
Workers could strike as early as Sunday. Secretary of State John Kerry is visiting the Middle East to meet with leaders in the region. NPR's Kat Chow will include discussions about security as well as the Iran nuclear deal.
Kerry is scheduled to start his tour in Egypt, where he'll be meeting with officials to talk about security as well as military aid. He will also travel to Qatar for meetings with foreign ministers who are wary of the nuclear deal with Iran. And the secretary will not be visiting Israel, which is the main opponent of the nuclear agreement. U.S. officials say this absence does not mean they've stopped trying to convince Israeli leaders that the deal is sound. Kerry most recently spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu 2 days after the nuclear agreement was reached in Vienna. Kat Chow, NPR News.
A U.S. Forest Service firefighter has died while battling a large blaze in Northern California. NPR's Nathan Rott reports that the 14-year firefighting veteran lost his life while combating one of many large wildfires burning across the state.
4 years of drought, hot weather, and lightning have sparked more than 24 significant fires in Northern California that have forced hundreds of evacuations. 38-year-old David Rule lost his life on the so-called Frog Fire in a far northern section of the state in the Modoc National Park. Rule, who is based in South Dakota, was one of hundreds of firefighters that have been brought into California on temporary assignment to help the state combat the blazes. California Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency for the state Friday to help gather additional resources. He has ordered that the state's capital's flags fly at half-staff to honor the fallen. Nathan Rott, NPR News.
More than 322,000 Dodge Chargers from the 2011 to 2014 model years are being recalled because side airbags can inflate if doors are slammed too hard. President Obama has begun a birthday weekend celebration with a golf outing at Andrews Air Force Base. He and his buddies plan to spend the rest of the weekend at Camp David. The president turns 54 on Tuesday. This is NPR. progress, but no deal on the Trans-Pacific Partnership after several days of trade talks on the Hawaiian island of Maui. Hawaii Public Radio's Bill Dorman reports trade ministers from a dozen Pacific Rim nations say they will continue their work in the coming weeks.
In a joint statement, the trade ministers said, "We have made significant progress. We'll continue work on a number of remaining issues." U.S. Trade Representative Michael Froman says some of those remaining issues are bilateral. Others involve groups of countries. There's no timetable for further talks, but Froman said negotiators continue their intensive engagement to find common ground. Sticking points range from autos and auto parts to dairy products. The Trans-Pacific Partnership would link a dozen countries, representing 40% of the world's economy. For NPR News, I'm Bill Dorman in Honolulu.
The hunting of lions, leopards, and elephants has been suspended in a region of Zimbabwe popular with tourists after the killing of Cecil, a popular lion that had been the subject of years of study. The National Parks and Wildlife Authority says bow and arrow hunts have also been suspended by authorities' director. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reports TSA officers have found 92 guns and carry-on bags at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport so far this year. This point in 2015 leads the nation. I'm Louise Schiavone, NPR News, Washington.
From the latest newscast to the newest podcast, NPR One handpicks local, national, and international stories based on what you like. Download the NPR One app, a new way to experience public radio.
Danny McPherson, it is now Beer Dark 30, and we're going to encourage everybody to grab their favorite beverage, whatever that is. Right. Just so happens that Miller High Life, because, you know, we have champagne taste, but we're on a beer budget.
Yeah, so please, it's good, though. It's good.
Please join us. And also, I want to encourage everybody, Danny, if you can just put up what we call our bitch
I don't think
picks.
She's back there.
She's not? That's okay. That's okay. I want you guys to call in. Here's the telephone number. I want you to join us and comment on what is I would say, important episodes we've ever done. Is it not one of the most important episodes we've ever done? Is it?
Yes.
I mean, we really need to. We kind of have to step out of our little zone.
Yep.
Knowing full well that we've covered Hillary Clinton, we've covered crimes against humanity, we've covered things over and over and over again, and then you get them like the mainstream media. They're so F-tarded out. Okay, they're like, oh, we heard Pete Santilli when he said something about Hillary Clinton, and he's such a conspiracy theorist. He talked about FEMA regions, and they're so dumbed down they don't even know that on FEMA's website they have. Yes. They don't even know that they're living in a FEMA region.
They have us cordoned off.
They have us cordoned
according to the region.
Yeah.
And they actually do call them FEMA regions.
That's right. But if you're working for the mainstream media,
Ohio is FEMA region 5.
All they care about over there at the leg couch on Fox News is their legs getting sheened and whether or not their lips are really wet.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And then talking about supporting.
Gotta tell you.
What?
Speaking of Fox News.
What?
The Young Turks. I hope we play that segment.
We have to, huh?
We have to play that segment. It is so important. We're going to give the Young Turks a thumbs up.
Yeah, he actually came out, by the way, as we have about Sandra Bland. He came out and he's asking questions, and he's also speaking out on her that we would want human beings to speak out. He actually did say that. He said, what the hell? This is a human being.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. This is not a left-right type issue. If you are a policed state supporter, okay, and you're so brainwashed, I'm
having a drink.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to get a sip too. But if you're a police state supporter, we literally have people out there. It just almost makes me freaking cry. I'm serious. I get so upset when I see these people so wound up to say, well, she wasn't cooperative. She was being defiant. And now is the time that we have to be defiant because tyranny is upon us.
You know what
it not?
Somebody said to me today, and this is somebody that's near and dear to me. And if they're listening, you know, I knew exactly where it was coming from. But they said, you know what? I just wish that, you know, people weren't so belligerent these days when police pulled them over. And I wish that the police weren't so belligerent when they talk to people. And, you know, he said it's just so terrible. And, you know, us coming from a small town, we knew who our cops were. We spoke to them. Some of them could be assholes, you know, but for the most part, you know, they take your beer away from you or your weed and say, go home. And I want to see you in town again tonight.
I wave to the police here in this small town, don't I? Huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you know what? That's what they did when
public utility officials, and driving down the road. Hey, what's up, Mike? How are you?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what they did when we were growing up and coming up, and you know, and we started partying a little bit, and probably more than we should have. But the cops were always really cool. I mean, they knew who your parents were, and they knew who your uncles were. You know, and if they caught you out doing something you shouldn't do, I mean, nobody was getting shot. Nobody was getting murdered. If you had a gun in your car, they didn't care. It wasn't even about that, you know. I mean, and it's changed so much.
It has.
It really has.
But you know what? We can change it back. And through the collapse, as the collapse takes place, we're right in the middle of it. You can't say, oh, well, when the collapse happens. No, the collapse is happening right now.
Yeah.
We're in societal collapse. We're in moral collapse. We could go on and on for an hour.
I think that's mostly what it is, don't you? Like it's the moral collapse that is the worst thing in our country right now. There's no morality anymore.
No,
from anybody.
No, cops.
Everybody's belligerent.
You know what cops need to do is cops need to start being the cops that we used to know them to be. As a matter of fact, you'd probably get. They wouldn't need MRAPs.
Yeah.
You know, they'd probably have their community members helping them. But, you know, stop the 80,000 SWAT teamings per year. Stop. As a matter of fact, if you're a cop and you're all excited, you got all your equipment and you're going to go like you're in a sport, go get all geared up and get your MRAP. Why don't you stop for a second and just ask this question? Even if I am serving a warrant on this guy, did he commit a crime that actually had a victim? Okay. Did he harm another human being? And that is the moral line that you draw. Like it is wrong. And I don't care what kind of freaking laws you have, because they can set up laws for everything, laws for speeding, laws for all that, you know, laws for,
most
laws
of them aren't even laws. They're statutes.
But if the dude had pot, and you're about to go put your life in danger to go serve a warrant on somebody that had pot, or they were dealing pot, or if they were dealing pot or heroin or marijuana, you blame that on the freaking CIA. A. B, who did he physically harm? Who did he harm by doing that?
You know what? I don't think he harmed anybody, and I think
it's a victimless crime. Okay. How many of the 80,000 SWAT teams do you think were warrants served upon people that committed victimless crimes? How many? And it's a moral decision at that point.
Most of them. It should be. I don't know what the statistics are, but I would say most. Yeah.
Why would any law enforcement officer want to put their lives in danger to go serve a warrant on somebody who was selling pot? Why would you want to do that? Or drugs? The drug problem is not going to be solved by you stopping that one guy from selling drugs. Let's go freaking SWAT team the CIA. Let's go door down and burn down their building. Am I suggesting violence against the CIA? Absolutely. I will freaking lead a pack of people to go burn tires out in front of the CIA. Like a bunch of Kiev revolutionaries.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And notice he said burn tires in front of.
Not burn down the building. Right. That's a terrorist event.
Oh my gosh. We'll be on the Alex Jones show again.
Huh?
I said we'll be on the Alex Jones show again.
You know what? I killed people for Hillary Clinton. Let's see if that'll get me SWAT teamed. I'll bet you. You know what? I bet you I could get away with murder if my name was Larry Nichols and I said that I kill people on behalf of Hillary Clinton. I could get away with that. Right? How come they're not SWAT teaming Larry Nichols?
Okay, so speaking of that,
what?
when we first came into the show, I was still pretty hot under the collar about what Larry Nichols was doing out there, going on all of these shows, especially some of these people that he's been talking to.
You know what, though?
Are people that just rabidly hate you and they're crazy mofos anyway.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
Okay. Has there ever been a millisecond, in our history where you thought we were doing the wrong thing? We've been back in our heels. We didn't know what was coming at us.
Sure.
But we've always done the right thing, and we've always backed ourselves up, haven't we?
We have, and we've strived to. And when we've made a mistake, we come back and say that we've made a mistake.
Right.
We've gotten a lot better. We've been side blinded a few times by some people.
Right.
One of them was the trucker event.
Right.
We really got side blinded there.
The trucker event. Yeah.
We were not even prepared or ready or knew of what was coming at us when all of that happened.
No idea.
Which was where Pete Santilli's an FBI informant was born.
I stole $500,000.
Yeah. All of that was born in that because we had no idea how to handle it.
Right.
Now we do. To handle this kind of stuff.
Well, when we talk to somebody like Larry Nichols, I literally have hours and hours and hours of recordings and episodes and all that stuff. I mean, it really, if he ever wanted to challenge like our integrity and bring his own voice forward, we'll take his penis and shove it so far into the dirt, it'll have a Chinese stamp on it.
I think that's part of doing what we do.
Right.
We don't want to go after Larry Nichols. If we wanted to go after Larry Nichols, we would have done it a few weeks ago when we heard him on this other show, and we laughed about it.
I really don't want to go after Larry Nichols. You know what I want Larry Nichols to do? And I even asked William Mount to come forward and say, what do you have to say to Larry Nichols? Larry Nichols is in a position right now to where he can help save our country. Exposing the truth about Hillary Clinton is a big, huge step, is it not? Why would Larry Nichols not want to do that? Why would he want to suppress that and throw Pete Santilli under the bus and say, Pete Santilli, he should have never put it out. It was sensational. And then you get Doug HAGMANN chiming in on that, which I feel bad for Doug HAGMANN. Because Doug HAGMANN's a good guy. He didn't hear this crap.
Yeah.
He didn't know this.
Yeah.
Doug HAGMANN would have never done that. Right? So I feel bad for Doug HAGMANN. But Larry Nichols can come forward right now. If he is a Christian patriot, he'll come forward and do a deathbed confession because we know that he's very sick. Why would you want to backtrack on the words that were spoken here on this show? Why would you want to backtrack on that?
I'm not really sure why he did it. And, I don't know. We bring somebody like that on the show. We believe what they're saying. They seem genuine. He seemed like a genuine guy. He was on our show a couple of times even before the whole I murdered people for the Clinton thing was said. He came on our show one time and caused a riot. He came on again without telling us what he was going to say, telling our listeners that we needed to elect Hillary. We need to bite the bullet and vote for Hillary Clinton because he said guys like him know how to deal with her. They don't know how to deal with the other guy, but they knew how to deal with Hillary.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? I'm not kidding. We could not live that down forever.
No.
It took forever. And, just people got really pissed off. They really did.
He said she was the best of the worst.
She was the best of the worst, he said. And he said, we need to vote for her. We need to make her the president because we know how to deal with the Clintons. We don't know how to deal with this other guy. So, he did that, right? And we let time go by and we let everybody settle down and we brought him back on the show and he came out of the gates, and you guys can go back episode 517 and you can hear him come on the show ready. He was loaded for bear, ready to screw this stuff.
Frankie says, because he got a visit by the Secret Service. Well, you know what I say to the Secret Service? Secret Service visited Pete Santilli about Hillary Clinton. Secret Service, you guys have your own freaking issues. Okay.
No kidding.
You have your own issues, and it's dating all the way back. I'll just go as far back as the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Okay.
Yeah, get that straight and then come and see us.
That stand down order that was given to your Secret Service agents as Kennedy turned the corner and then had a bullet shoved into the back of his head. Why don't you guys go investigate that instead of Pete Santilli saying vagina?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris, don't pick on. You know what? I want to get Larry Nichols. I mean this sincerely. Tell me if I'm bullshitting. If you think I'm bullshitting.
I will.
Don't you want to get Larry Nichols some immunity?
It'd be great. I mean, for me, he would be a real hero.
He'd be a hero of our country.
If he would go for immunity.
He would be a hero in our country. I would literally, if Larry Nichols, I'm going to say this to you, dude. If you want to come forward, dude, I will pack up our gear, okay? I'll come stand guard at your freaking house, okay? We'll put the citizens militia around your house. They won't be able to freaking get to you. We'll make sure your family's protected. We'll make sure the taxpayer at a certain point pays for extra security for you and your family, because that's the kind of family we want to protect in this country. It's the families of whistleblowers.
Many people have experienced the benefits of drinking all-natural life-change tea. The unique 8 herbs helps detoxify your body so you live a healthier life. Numerous testimonies have been given about the benefits of drinking Life Change Tea. So are you drinking Life Change Tea? Interested? Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Many are so impressed with our product, they order a year's supply. And why not? When they do, they receive 2 months free. That's a $70 savings. The body is meant to heal itself. Sometimes the body just needs a little help. Get the tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. This is not an ordinary green tea and is not available in stores. This tea helps with digestive problems, acid reflux, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and as talk show host Jerry Doyle says, it'll make you as regular as a baby bird. Enjoy your life. Get Life Change Tea at getthetea.com.
Hi, this is Danny with the Pete Santilli Show. And for almost 1,000 episodes, I've been responsible for making sure that Pete does everything he can to piss off the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA. In the coming days, we're going to be kicking it up a notch. And there's no doubt that every 3-letter agency will be having nervous breakdowns trying to figure out how to silence us. Our message is simple. It's time to get every single American who cares about what's happening in this country in the streets to shut the system down. We're not willing to sit around and wait for the feds to come get us. We're going to take it to them, but we need your help. Obviously, corporate America won't be cutting us a check so we can shut down their businesses, so we need the support of our listeners. Please go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate and help support our field reporting. You may not be able to join us in the streets, but this is the best way you can help. Go to thepetesantillishow.com and give now, because giving feels free.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
Okay, before I go to the telephone lines, okay, somebody, by the way, who's going to be listening in, his name is Fret Fingers. He's been with us for a long, long time. He's seen us go through all kinds of stuff. He understands, as a listener, what we've been through, what we've put forward, and then what we've had to suffer through as a result.
Mm-hmm.
We put something out there, we do the trucker's ride, all of a sudden I stole $500,000, we're put back on our heels.
And you're an FBI informant,
and our system's shut down, and everyone's after us, and it's just terrible, blah, 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 blah. But ladies and gentlemen, always remember this, okay? If we come out against Hillary Clinton, okay, and I mention that Hillary Clinton, that I have a friend who works for, quote unquote, the company, okay, who was on the ground in Benghazi 3 days after Benghazi.
Right.
And he comes back to the United States 30 days later and says, Pete, we're on the verge of a military coup. We're in trouble, dude. I'm not even supposed to be talking to you. But this is what's going on. I delivered a dialysis machine to Osama bin Laden in 1999. He worked for the company. I was there. He was not supposed to live for 7 years past that. I do know this. I don't know if he was alive or dead. But I do know he wasn't supposed to live 7 years past the point at which I delivered doctors and a dialysis machine to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know because of the CIA annex that was overseeing the negotiation between Stevens and Al-Qaeda in Libya to ship arms to Al-Qaeda in Syria. And that arms shipment actually went right after Stevens died. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
None of this information came out. We were all hearing at that time when Gandalf came to us that it was a movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is early on.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing that it was caused by a movie.
Right.
We were hearing all this stuff. I have everything documented. It's all documented.
And he said, it's not a movie.
It's not a movie. Our country is in trouble. Okay. So we put this stuff out. Do you think that Pete Santilli is going to get attacked? I don't care if I'm attacked. There's nothing you can do. Nothing that you've done. You can say that I stole $500,000. I say, where can I get $500,000 to steal? You know, right? Like
right.
I didn't steal $500,000. You can have some fat chick in Portland, Oregon, write all the articles you want about me being an FBI informant. I don't care. So if I were an FBI informant, I'd probably, if
she would have been in jail a long time ago.
Yeah, she would have been in jail a long time ago. But of course, all this stuff is going to come after us because of what we do. But guess what? We have no money. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I say that's okay.
It's okay.
We're supported by our listeners.
We are.
We have our integrity.
Yep.
We have our love of God.
We do.
We have an absolute love of God and our listenership as well.
Yep.
And our fellow human beings that understand our show.
We love it.
We have a love for sharing the truth because I believe human beings, no matter where they are in every economic scale, every race, creed, and color, this is the way we live our lives here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That the mainstream media could grab an episode like this, okay? I could have family members killed. I could be disparaged. All those things could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's not going to change anything that we've brought forward.
Right.
I never have any regrets. I don't even have any regrets about anything that I said about Hillary Clinton.
No.
Because I said she committed treason against the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
She should be arrested, tried, convicted for treason.
Mm-hmm.
The colorful language I used, guess what they did?
After that?
But they used that to attack us.
Yeah.
Let me go to Fret Fingers. Fret, you've seen this time and time again. What's going to happen after this episode, Fret? What do you think's going to happen? You've seen it. How many times?
Many, 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 many times.
Yeah.
I mean, you come out with so much stuff, I just can't believe, you're still in relative obscurity. And you busted so much stuff. Amazing. All the way from the Bundy Ranch to the Clinton stuff to Gandalf to the to the Slurry Nichols stuff. It's just amazing.
It's amazing, but guess what? And now I want you to share this. This isn't like Pete Santilli throwing flowers at himself. I'm talking about the information that we in our listenership have learned through and shared. I want you to speak to our listening audience, okay? And you tell them what should keep us going. Pursuit of the truth. And really exposing the truth should be what we're all in this for, right?
You got it.
Yeah, man. I could have said it better, but I'm freaking slurring my speech, I think. I had like 2 or 3 beers.
You got to support the local. You got to support the local breweries there, man. Get
That's right.
That's right. Make sure that part of your prepping scheme should be a stash of beer that doesn't skunk. Yes. So why'd you call in, Freddie?
Well, what this Larry Nichols guy, man. How can you trust that guy? He's a snake.
You can't.
I mean, he's a scumbag from day one.
Yep.
I mean, I remember it was about 3 or 4 months ago, and I was on the chat. I messaged you guys, and I said, he's on Stu Webb's show, calling you all kinds of lies, blaming you for saying that you lied and you're forced drugged up, and
Yep.
Well, listen.
That crap back then.
Okay, now listen. You heard him on my show, right? You heard him on my show the first time when he said that he killed people, and then you heard It was actually about 6 weeks later. You heard that audio on tonight's show. Did it sound like Larry Nichols? Okay. Let's set aside the first time he said it. Did it sound like Larry Nichols was lying and on drugs and after surgery? Did it sound like that?
No. He sounded very proud of what he was talking about. He sounded very clear-headed to me.
He sounded so specific that, let me ask you this, Fred. Let's say, for instance, if I said that I killed people on behalf of Deborah Jordan, what would happen to me?
You'd be behind bars right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, they would SWAT team me. They would do all these things. Now, I'm not saying that Larry Nichols deserves to be SWAT teamed. That's not what I'm calling for. But I'm just saying, isn't it remarkable how the Clintons, here's my point, the Clintons have such a power over the media that the media anything but to make up stories about Pete Santilli and Pete Santilli calling out her vagina. They can't do anything outside of their normal job. Law enforcement, who you and I know that they listen to this show intensely. They actually get paid to, and they won't do anything to investigate Hillary Clinton hiring somebody for murder. You know what I mean? Murder for hire. They won't do anything. What does this country become, dude?
I don't know. When are you going to release the Gandalf stuff?
You already did.
Or water?
Well, dude, I released probably the most important. I mean, how much information? Okay, how much information do they need? By the way, the FBI and the CIA whistleblowers, okay, that have signed non-disclosure agreements, all right, cannot come forward, okay, unless Clinton or Petraeus under oath lie. Once they lie, guess what, dude? Those freaking thumb drives come out like a mofo. They will go. Those whistleblowers will go right to Congress, and those people will be thrown in jail. Now, that's the reason why Clinton and Petraeus have not testified under oath, and that's why Hillary Clinton is negotiating what questions are going to be asked during her Benghazi testimony 22nd. You know that, right?
That's awesome, man. I didn't know that you had that in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah. Dude, not only do I have it in my back pocket, and I want everyone to know this, there is so much more. And guess what? You could literally kill me and all of my family members. You touch me, my family members, our dog Bill Cooper, you touch any one of us, and it's on like a mofo. And guess what? The damn Jesuits should be shaking in their freaking boots right now. Because I don't know. Are they in charge? Who's in charge? The Jesuits, I guess? I don't know. Who is it? They should all be shaking in their boots.
That's the latest I heard.
Yeah, the Jesuits. So the Jesuits and the Pope, they should be shaking in their pants because of what I have. Because guess what? Something was screwed up. They screwed up. I should have never gotten this information. How I got this information? How I got this information was because of my relationship with somebody in the United States Marine Corps. That's how it came to me. That's exactly how it came to me.
Mm-hmm.
By a patriot who's working for the company. And he was the one that straightened me out, Fred. He said, not everyone in the company is dirty. There's a good side and there's a black side. And he knows that. He straightened me out with that. Remember that? How shocked I was?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very shocked.
I was very shocked by that. So you CIA people, you are, if you're listening to my voice, I don't know, they're probably too busy selling freaking heroin out of Afghanistan. But if you're listening to my voice, it's time to come clean, man, on behalf of humanity. I don't care what patriotic bullshit you've been told, okay? It's time to come clean for humanity. There's no money. There's nothing. You could, Fred, dude, do you believe this? Tell me the truth. When I say that if somebody walked up to me with a bag full of $1 trillion and said, Santilli, keep your mouth shut. Freddie, you've been listening to this show for a long time. What would I say?
Kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. I would record the conversation and I'd play it back to our listeners. So help me God. So help me God. I will do that. I promise you. Because I don't like fiat currency. I wanted it. Just kidding. Just kidding.
What about this William Mount guy, man? I don't know about him either. I think he's like a lunatic or something.
You know what? You know what, though? That's, when you first... Hilarious. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I dare you to go check William Mount's freaking stories. He rattles off a whole bunch of things. This guy in January of 2015, this is what's going to happen in Yemen. 4 months later, guess what happens in Yemen? I mean, go check his stuff, dude. Go check his stuff. I dare you to Google him
when
up.
He comes up when he comes out and says, I single-handedly stopped a nuclear attack on a city, right? I single-handedly talked to the president and all that. I mean, I said, where is this guy coming from? Or what?
Well, Larry Nichols was on the show, and he said, I single-handedly killed 15 to 20 people. What am I going to say? Well, I don't believe you're a nutcase. You do?
That's in his character.
I love William Mount. I do.
All right, I'll give it a chance.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, of course, we can't verify stuff like that, but you know what? This is what I do believe, and nobody could ever dispute this. I believe he's one of the good people. I believe he's one of the good...
I do believe that. He may be but his intentions are there.
Yeah, I think he's a good person, too.
I think he's a good person. He's on our side.
I really do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think he's one of those fellow people that if he's offered $1 trillion in a duffel bag, he'd say, hell no, man. I got freaking homemade furniture. I don't need your $1 trillion.
You know, sometimes it's just about that. You know, listening to other people, listening to their opinion. He may not always be right. Mm-hmm. He may not always be wrong. But we're better for listening and hearing. Even Bill Cooper said, for us to listen to everything and everyone, you know, and listen to their side of it and listen to what they have to say. If we shut him down completely, then we will never know, you know, what he has to say. And I think that would be a shame because I think he is a pretty straight up guy.
Yeah, I started. Go ahead.
You got a Santa Claus bag full of delusions of grandeur. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I dare anyone to Google up anything that he's talking about. Look at that. Boom.
Yes. Nice talking with you guys again.
Okay, man. Good talking to you, Freddie.
Into a new bunker. I've been moving into a new house for the last couple of weeks, and I've only been catching your show on a spotty basis, but I like it.
Well, that's cool, dude. It's great to hear from you, and especially somebody that can come on as a listener. Dude, how many times have you seen us just? I mean, you have to admit it. As a listener, you're thinking, man, what the hell is this Santilli guy up to now? What is
you guys survived through some stuff, man.
I
go back to 2011, and I recall all that stuff, and man, how you survived through it. It's amazing.
I don't know. You know what, though? I don't know how spiritual you are, but this is what I do believe. They can't take away. Last night, I talked about it. We were talking about music, okay? And I shared that music. I don't know if you heard last night's show. The global elite, they can strip us of prosperity, all that stuff, but you can't take away our souls, dude. I think we have, I honestly believe this. I think that we're on the side of God. I really do believe that. And that's the only thing that has saved us through this.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
Yeah. So when we have somebody like Larry Nichols on, right? You know, I mean, if we shut him down and we're combative the whole time that they're on the show, you know what I'm saying? Then we're not going to glean any good stuff. I think it's up to the listener and their responsibility and ours to go back and listen to these things and listen to what they say out of it and leave the bad, right? And that's how we move forward. I'm not going to judge the guy.
And then, of course,
I'm really glad you played that follow-up stuff with Larry Nichols. It just so totally blows his crap out of the water that there's nothing left.
Yeah. No. There's nothing left, actually, because Larry Nichols is basically forced into a corner to do the following, to either keep his mouth shut about the Pete Santilli show, because I've got more, Larry Nichols, if you want more. I'll bring more.
We got it.
We have more, as we always do. But I think the most important thing for him to realize is that he has a choice to come forward now and say, you know what? So yes, I did say it 3 times over as Santilli played it in my voice. And yes, in fact, I do have information. It's time for me to come clean on behalf of everyone in the United States of America.
Right.
Yep.
Let's hope he does it.
Let's hope he does.
I hope so.
Let's hope he does.
Okay. All right, Freddie. Good talking to you, dude.
I love Fred. I love Fred. From the moment he started listening to our show and calling in, he's always very insightful, just an awesome person.
Let's go to Josh. Josh, what are you drinking?
Oh, some R&R, baby.
What are you drinking?
Some R&R, baby.
Yeah, baby, that's right. Hey, listen.
Wow.
So listen, we live our lives right here on the show in front of our listening audience. Dude, you feel like we, the people, are coming together to do some really good things by exposing this stuff? Do you believe that? Tell me the truth. Or do you think, and by the way, hold that thought.
Yes,
I'm going to go to a
thought.
break, okay? Dude, I want you to think about this. Do you think that I am absolutely putting my life at risk and everyone's life at risk unnecessarily to bring the truth forward the way we are? Or do you think we should stand firm and say, you know what, now is the time for us to be doing this? Enough is enough. We're sick of the criminality. We're sick of your cabalish control. We're sick of your freaking fake alien invasions. We're sick and tired of your Ponzi scheme. We're sick and tired of your debt enslavement. We're sick and tired of your freaking corrupt politics. We're sick and tired of everything that you guys are doing. So it's time to come forward and expose them and run this joint with Miller High Life. We'll be right back.
The Pete Santilli Show has been growing strong since 2011. That's almost giving you the kind of information you'll never find on AM/FM radio. Pete Santilli and his crew have brought stories like Ivan Bundy to the national spotlight, the border crisis in McAllen, Texas, and has bravely confronted corrupt legislators who had imprisoned pastors like Reverend Edward Clinton and Ken Hovind. Recently, the Pete Santilli Show traveled to Baltimore, where he stood side by side with the people against the tyrannical police state, just like he did at Bundy Ranch. For 4 years, the show has been a voice for the oppressed and targeted in this country, and now we have our sights set on getting long overdue justice for the survivors of the USS Liberty. Donations to the Pete Santilli Show not only guarantee we remain on the air without being censored, but it also gives us the power to go when and where we are called. There is so much left to do. Go to thepetesantillishow.com/donate because giving feels great.
Ew. What's the most bacteria-filled object in a hotel room? Not to be a germaphobe, but a new study shows there's one thing you may not. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and when I come back, I'll tell you what it is. When I stay at hotels, I'm generally suspicious of the carpet, and I always give the bedspread a wide berth. Okay, call me a germaphobe, but a new study vindicates at least some of my paranoia. In a survey of hotels in 3 states, the American Society for Microbiology found that 81% of hotel room surfaces contain fecal bacteria. Yuck. The worst offenders? TV remotes, followed by toilets and bathroom sinks. Light switches and phones also tested high for bacteria. Before using them, a little hand sanitizer might be in order. So which surface is safest? The headboard, but good luck eating off of it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
Have you heard about Life Change Tea? Major talk show hosts, celebrities, and many others have been talking about the benefits of Life Change Tea. Not a fad, but a choice to enhance your health with an all-natural, non-decaffeinated, non-sugar energy drink that you home. For about $1 a day, you can benefit your health in a way you've never dreamed of. That's why the buzz. Join those who have made the choice for better health. Taste the drink that is changing lives. Read the testimonies at getthetea.com. Want to order? Need to order? Log on to getthetea.com. Appropriate name, I might add. That's getthetea.com. Or call 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. Say no to sickness and disease. Get your power of health back, but you need to order. GetTheTea.com. Helps with cholesterol, liver disease, Crohn's disease, digestive problems, and much more. That's GetTheTea.com.
Okay, so he's going to answer honestly. I haven't spoken to him about his answer to this question because now I'm going to say this, most Americans, okay, who cower in fear say, oh my God. I mean, I even have family members like, oh my God, you should just keep your mouth shut about that stuff about Hillary Clinton. Okay, they cower in fear because Clinton is so powerful. Do you think that it's more important for us to bring this truth forward, or do you think I should just keep my mouth shut because we put our lives in danger, quote unquote?
No, I think you're so brave, and I think it's very important what we're doing right now. Because for one reason, I don't even know. I haven't taken the time to figure out what I can't say. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know what I can't say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying I'm just being bold and speaking how I feel every day I talk to y'all.
While we can, right? I just asked Deb.
While I still can, I'm exercising my right.
That's right. I just asked Deb during the break very sincerely. And I said, are you afraid? I mean, I always ask her this. Are you afraid? Are you afraid? Because I always told her she knows that if she ever gets to the point to where, like, I am who I am, and it's very different than who she is, but together we're doing this. But she always knows that if she feels fearful, then I won't shut up. I will just go deeper in the bunker. Okay? I will go somewhere else, and I'll make sure that she's protected, and I've always protected her. You know what she said to me during the break? And when I said, are you fearful? She said, what was the face she made? She said, what? What are they going to do? Take away my birthday and kill me? She's like, hell no, I'm not afraid. We can't be fearful. This is what it means to stand tall in front of them and behind God, right?
Yeah.
With some fearlessness. Not be reckless. I don't think we're being reckless. We're coming forward with the truth, man. Yeah. I mean, if somebody commits a crime and they're out in front of your house and they kill somebody, I mean, they need to be held to account for that. If Hillary Clinton does such terrible things and a lot of people suffer as a result, she needs to be held to account for that. Right? Right, Josh?
Absolutely. Like, I did something wrong in the past and I was held accountable.
We gotta be held
accountable. What are they going to do to me? I've been the person. What are they going to do to me? And I'll tell you one thing. I thought I was never going to get out. And with these FEMA camps, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any hope unless Pete Santilli and the crew comes and saves them, you know?
Yeah, the crew is us. We as a listenership, we have to stand tall. We have to, like, for instance, I want to put a call out to everyone who can, if you can, okay? Put your picture up. Show your face. Don't worry about facial recognition. And stand tall on your words and say, you know what? I am a revolutionary. I'm going to help save my country, and I'm going to do so for myself and for future generations and my family members, and I'm not going to be fearful of it. And when I speak out about all of you anonymous people that are on the internet for your own protection, come on, let's come forward. Right?
Josh, we always say, do we believe what we're saying? Do we really believe it? Do we believe in what we put out there every single day, what we strive for, the truth? Do we believe in it? And I think that standing up proves that we believe in it, and putting it out there and standing up and saying, okay, well, they're going to, if we believe that they're going to bring it, no matter what we do, if we're all going to end up in a FEMA camp or whatever, then what makes a difference? Really, seriously, when I say, what are they going to do? Take away my birthday? I mean, seriously, that's how much it means to me.
Who's a better
Not
person?
Very much.
Who is a better person in God's eyes? Us, by exposing the people that are doing terrible deeds, or Hillary Clinton, who's killing people so that she can have power and wealth and all that good stuff? Who do you think God will stand behind? Hillary Clinton or us and our listenership? Who will he stand behind, do you think?
Us, absolutely.
Us.
The people that are doing the right thing, and I believe we are doing the right thing.
We are. We are as a people. We are as a people. We're going to come together. Enough is enough. It's time to bring that woman forward. She's not going to be now. Hillary Clinton is nobody that I would appeal to tell the truth, because she is a psychopathic, disgusting, filthy pig that deserves the death penalty after her arrest, trial, conviction. She deserves whatever penalty is appropriate. I already got in trouble for it, but we'll skip over that.
We'll skip over the vagina
thing. We'll skip over that. All right. Anyways, Josh, thanks for calling in. I'm going to take a couple more calls in the remaining moments.
Thanks, Josh.
All right, y'all. God bless.
All right. God bless you too, man. That's right.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's right. And repeat.
Yeah, Pete Santilli. How are you?
Listen, man, repeat. You've seen a lot of the things that we've been through, and that's okay. I'm willing. I'm literally, and I'm not saying this in a noble sense. The stuff that we've been through is nothing compared to the stuff that we have been through as a show. including what Larry Nichols has been trying to do to throw our show under the bus and our good name and all the good work that we've been trying to do. That's okay. That's nothing compared to the bad things that have been done. Take a look at, now, I'd be willing to, at least have him try to throw the Pete Santilli show under the bus. We will defend ourselves, and I think we did so. But what's more important is that Larry Nichols tried to kill people so that Hillary Clinton could have more power. I would every single day have people try to come at me, but I'm never going to stop trying to expose her for what she's doing. It's the right thing to do, isn't it?
You are a good man, okay?
Well, we are good people. There are good people.
And Debbie said something earlier about one of the problems in the country today is morals. The country has lost the morals.
Mm-hmm. You say marbles?
And morals.
Oh, morals, yes.
Yes, the country has lost the morals, and it's, I'm starting to get to the point where I don't know if this can be turned around.
I think, you know what? I still have, there was that moment at Bundy Ranch on that Friday, right? When Daniel P. Love said, well, you better have a lot more people than you got right now, dude. And guess what I did? I don't know if did you ever hear this story? What I did after he said that? The federal government said you better have more people. I'll tell all of our listening audience this. This is the God's honest truth. I literally prayed like I've never before. I said, please, God, if you believe in us and what we're trying to do, please send us a whole heck of a lot of people with lots of guns.
Yeah.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I got to tell you something. In the last 3 months, God has become more important in my life than ever before.
In the past 3 months? Really? Wow.
Yes. I've never prayed every day like I have in the last 3 months my entire life, okay? Christ especially, all right? And it has made a big difference in my life.
Pete, now is the time for that. I'm not trying to. I'm the least likely person to be out there. As a matter of fact, that's why I love the HAGMANN show. I mean, they're much more qualified. They got Steve Quayle. They're very biblically educated, and I can't say biblically because I'm drinking too much beer. But look at me, the way I'm. But you know what? Funny. Now is the time where every waking moment of my days, I'm as close as I could possibly be to God, because we need His help. We need divine intervention. Whether I'm alive or not is immaterial. Okay, whether He exists, whether He exists and intervenes is my main goal. Not whether or not I live or die. Okay, whether or not He intervenes is my main objective here. Okay. So
now, I have another question.
Okay, go.
Why are you drinking Miller Lite when I sent Danny a beer making kit? You can make your own beer cheaper.
That's in our prepper kit.
Okay, I can tell you why. Because we just moved. It's still boxed up, but it's right here.
It's right here.
And as soon as we get everything in order and everything settled, we're going to make our first batch of beer.
Perfect.
Good.
Because it is. It's like 50 cents a beer. You can buy this stuff in bulk.
Right.
50 cents. I know.
Oh, boy.
I paid 25 cents a beer for Iron Horse in the Philippines.
Oh, my goodness.
50 cents? No, I'm just
back
kidding.
in the 80s. Come on. Right?
But anyway, I just wanted to call and say hello. It's been a while since I called in.
Yeah, repeat.
You're awesome.
Hey, we love you, man. Seriously. Thank you very much for calling in.
Actually, my cat, Santilli, is going to take me to a bathroom break and to get another beer. So,
all right, that's great.
That's so awesome.
That's great. That's awesome. Thanks for calling in.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to a first-time caller in the 480 area code. First-time caller. What's up?
Hey, this is Kelly.
What's up, Kelly Jones? You're
Kelly
going first and
Jones.
last name, putting it out there for the people. What's up?
That's right, brother. I've called you before, man. Hey, the reason I'm calling is I put that in the chat room last night about you being on HAGMANN and HAGMANN.
Yep.
Because it pissed me off. Because I'm E-militia, baby, all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, and E-militia, what is E-militia? E-militia knows that you're educated on the truth behind that thing. You understood what Larry Nichols said, correct?
Yeah, I was hot. I was heated, and I had to say something last night about it. I was like, "Oh,
Glad you did.
you got to know what's going on and what's being said."
Yeah, but I do want to say this, and I want to make it really, really clear, and not because I'm sucking up to Doug Hagmann, because Doug Hagmann, I will say this to you. If I thought Doug Hagmann was dirty, I'd be after him. This would be the show. I would put him out like a freaking cigarette. I do not believe. I do not believe that.
You know, I listen to Hagmann's at work, and then I'll listen to you in the night. And I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm into, and I know what's going on.
He's not dirty.
You know, for you to get thrown up like that, I think it's a fair fight that you know that you're getting thrown out there.
Yeah, but you know what though? But I'm not going to respond.
We appreciate it too.
But I'm not going to respond to Doug Hagmann with some, butthurt response like, "Oh my God, you let him."
No. Because Doug Hagmann, I'll give him this. You know, he's a gentleman, and he'll have a reasonable conversation with you about it, I'm sure. He'll address it.
Well, you know what he'll do? This is the way I wanted to serve up Doug Hagmann. I told him, I said, this is the episode you want to listen to. Because, A, I sensed that you had never heard his original words he spoke on my show. I heard it in Doug Hagmann's voice. And he was appreciative and very compassionate towards Larry Nichols. And I said to myself, Doug Hagmann has never heard the truth about the other recording that I just put up, and I wanted to give that to Doug Hagmann. And Doug Hagmann will hear in Larry Nichols' own voice what the truth is. In Larry Nichols' voice, not Pete Santilli's
and
butthurt
he promised
voice.
When we talked to him this afternoon, he promised that he would watch the show and hear what we had to say.
Right.
So how we threw the ball in court.
Yeah, how he responds is
how he
obviously
responds
up to him.
it.
Right.
Is
I'm not even going to. Guess what? I'm not even going to, just because it's not appropriate. I'm not going to demand anything from Doug Hagmann like most people do with me. Like, you better cover this. You better blah, blah, blah. Doug Hagmann will have to decide on his own in front of his listeners how to respond to this. I'm not going to demand an apology because this isn't about me and me being butthurt. Mm-hmm. What I do want is from everyone that's hearing my voice that you put this information out and you allow individuals to decide for themselves. Right. And for anybody to suppress this information, those are the people I call dirty. Yeah. Those are the dirty people. If you suppress what I just put out as far as truth, you're a dirty, rotten bastard. And I don't care if your name is Bacigalucci and you work for the mafia. Right? I don't care. Right. You better not be holding this back. So E-Militia sends this information out, right? You don't suppress it.
Spread it wide.
Spread it wide. With as many people as... Dude, is this the most important episode I've ever done?
Yes.
It is.
Hey, I love and respect all you guys. You guys are like family to me.
Okay, dude. Thank you so much, man. And you are exactly what we live for each and every day. And I'm going to mute you here and finish off by saying the following. Yes, so sincerely. Everything we've laid on the line, and I mean everything. You can disparage us, you can attack us, you can even kill us, and it's not going to stop what's in our souls. And our souls and who we live for, our God and our fellow human beings and our listeners, we will never stop. Never stop, ever, for every single episode we put together, from start to finish. You can be in the mainstream media, you can demonize us, you can be in law enforcement, you could SWAT team us. You're not going to shut down the truth. So help me God. We will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not, exactly the way we do. If you don't like it, go watch Nickelodeon.
Amen.
I love you all. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
You observe well-to-do girls in the butt. The Pete Santilli Show, the flagship show of the Guerrilla Media Network. I believe, don't mess with me and don't take my stuff. You see these fists? I'm going to use the Pete Santilli Show. Even above and beyond the state-run, CIA-infiltrated media. You're listening to the Pete Santilli Show on the Guerrilla Media Network.
Put on your walking shoes, couch potatoes. A hike a day can keep diabetes at bay. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and in a moment I'll have details on how even a short stroll can lower your risk of developing diabetes. Walking can do wonders for your heart, but a new study shows that even walking a few minutes a day lowers your chance of getting diabetes. Researchers used pedometers to monitor 1,800 Native Americans for a week. They found people who walked just 4 miles a day had a nearly 30% lower risk of diabetes than those who walked 1.5 miles. The benefits held even for those who walked the least. People who took just 3,500 steps a day had a much lower risk of diabetes than those who hardly walked at all. So get out those walking shoes. Your heart and your pancreas will love you for it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartPage.com, the world's most private search engine.
You need to speak to someone in communications because you have me on the radio right now. Is that what you're saying?
How do you know I do radio? Everybody
knows your name, Mr. Santilli. It's very controversial.
GMN is not your parents' news network. Pete Santilli Show, causing libtards common wounds since 2011.
Hi, this is Pete Santilli. How are you?
Hi, I just want to tell you what a douchebag you are, dude.